Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thoughts from the Movies. Live today from the Union Fitness Studios located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Union Fitness is more than a traditional gym. It's a place where you can transform yourself inside and out with a variety of classes based around fitness, yoga, strength. That's when you flex, is the strength.
Oh, whoops.
Strength and performance training. At Union Fitness, they believe that it is their duty to hold themselves and their clients to a higher standard. They practice what they preach and uphold values that make Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today and sign up for a consultation. Through Union, there is strength. I'm getting good at it.
That's twice in a row you've gotten
very
through
good
that
at
whole
it.
thing without really botching it at all. Well, I'm very proud of you.
I'll get
very
there.
well done.
I will get there.
Nicely done. Oh, you're there, baby. You're there.
On the show tonight, we have me and Justin. Justin's not drinking whiskey because he said it impaired his judgment last time.
I didn't say that, although whiskey does impair your judgment. I was too distracted by the drinking, although here I am with a cup of water, so I don't understand anything.
Pigeon.
Don't listen to me.
Austin, welcome home. And what are you drinking, bud? Okay. You see the empty yellow square there. That is not out of just boredom.
Look at that. It looks like my tiny little arm.
Zach will be joining us shortly at some point for the remainder of the show. So that'll be good. And, yeah. So let's do this. Before, to kind of buy some time till Zach gets here. Because I've watched quite a few movies in the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of want to talk about what everybody's been watching lately. Justin, why don't you kick us off? What have you been watching lately?
The last thing I watched was 2 nights ago. I watched a movie called Big Time Adolescence, which is a coming-of-age movie that came out last year on Hulu with Pete Davidson, and it was very well made, very well done. It's about, a kid who's a sophomore in high school, and he's sort of taken under the wing of Pete Davidson's character, who's like a college dropout. Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
What'd you think?
That was nice.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh my god, that's the greatest movie I've ever seen, but I've seen other movies like that did worse.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's a very solid coming of age tale about growing up, as someone in high school and then as someone on the other side of it. So
sure.
With The King of Staten Island coming out this year, Pete Davidson's kind of been more on the radar lately. So,
right.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. And then television-wise, I'll say the best show of the year so far that I've watched is called Normal People. It was on BBC and also was on Hulu after that. And it was also a coming of age, but it was about 2 Irish teenagers sort of over the course of their high school and college years as they kind of weave in and out of each other's lives. It's very, very melodramatic. It's very sort of heavy emotionally, but it's just a beautiful story. Great acting. Didn't win any of the Emmys it was nominated for, but fantastic show. I think it's 12 episodes, half hour each.
Okay.
That was the best thing that I've seen this year so far.
Oz, what have you been watching lately?
I've been watching a lot of a combination of movie and TV, actually.
Okay.
I just watched 2 movies entitled Better Watch Out and Harpoon, which are both sort of horror comedies. I've been trying to bring together a little bit instead of being more on the gruesome and dark side of it, trying to find some horror comedies that are very good. And both of those are excellent, I would say. Much recommends. TV, actually enough, I've been watching reruns of Teen Wolf.
That's not nothing wrong with that.
So we got that, and just rewatching some Attack on Titan because the trailer for season 4 was confirmed that December we're getting season 4.
Very cool. I just watched a couple of movies kind of back to back on Saturday or Sunday. I watched Rocket Man, finally. And that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Much better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's debatable. Dude, Bohemian Rhapsody is the crowd pleaser, and Rocket Man is sort of a deeper, darker dive and a different take on it. I wouldn't say
here's what I don't.
It's better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Here's why I will tell you that it's better than Bohemian Rhapsody is that they don't pretend to tell the story congruently or to not fictionalize parts of it to make it a better story. they come at it with this, out of world experience kind of sci-fi feel to the movie. So when you are jumping in and out of what actually happened and what was perceived to have happened, it all just kind of flows. Whereas in Bohemian Rhapsody, they straight out lied about the Live Aid performance. He didn't have AIDS yet. So like there's a bunch of different things that happen in that movie where they just flat out fucking lied about the timeline. They lied about who said what happened, who wrote what song. I mean, it was just totally fictionalized and then attempted to pass it off as truth.
Well, no, all movies to some extent take creative license when they need to.
But the
to.
creative license to me
that
was too
done
far.
so to make that a more emotional moment for him when he comes on to live stage, because we already knew that he had cancer, even though in the reality was it didn't come out till after that. But for the movie's sake, AIDS, for the movie's sake though, that just creates a more powerful moment. So I mean, that's movies do that. That's nothing new at all.
That movie was dog shit.
I can't believe you are saying the Queen movie is dog shit.
I'm telling you, the Queen movie is dog shit.
Well,
As a giant Queen fan, I think it's dog shit. And then I also watched the 1922. Austin, have you seen that? It's also a Netflix original.
What?
1922.
I think so. Is it the farm story?
Yep. Yeah. Based off Stephen King book. Did you like that movie?
It was in the middle.
Okay.
The best, but I don't think it was the greatest thing that he's ever put out. So
Sure. So apparently the book is like one of people's favorite Stephen King books. To me, it was like, so spoiler alerts, which is the beginning of the fucking show, so deal with it. The movie is all about him killing his wife, which happens in the first 15 minutes of the movie, which like kind of feels like the movie should build to that. And I felt like after the major drama of him killing his wife, like the movie got less and less exciting instead of more and more exciting, and it's a murder thriller. So like really fucked with me in that sense. It was beautiful though. Incredibly well shot.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was pretty good. That guy reminded me though of the main character reminded me of Tom Hardy in Lawless. So
Tom
Makes
Hardy,
sense.
by the way, the rumors are awash again of him being the next Bond. They just slashed the odds on him to take over that role. Some of the tabloids over in Britain. So if Christopher Nolan directs Tom Hardy in the next James Bond movie, I will die a very happy man. I think either Tom Hiddleston or Tom Hardy should be the next Bond, but that's off topic and for another show.
that is a good topic for a show though. I'm there
Well,
for
No
it.
Time to Die comes out in November, so we can do a Bond show time to the release
Ooh,
of the
okay.
new Bond movie.
I like that.
Boom.
All right. Project Power is a movie that is a Netflix original film. You dudes are dudes.
Lil Dicky. Is he in this movie?
He
Is that
should have
him?
been in the movie. Would have made it fucking better.
Is that him on the poster?
No, it's not him. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Jamie Foxx, and newcomer Dominique Fishback. It's a Netflix original based around the idea of this little pill that Jamie Foxx is holding. Gives you superpowers for 5 minutes. And we, throughout the movie, learn that it has to do with an animal that you're kind of closely related to, but they don't really explain the science to that. So, just first reactions, Austin. Did you like the movie? Did you not like the movie? What do you think?
I like the concept of it. The execution was had me wanting more than the actual product was
Fucking
giving.
tell him, Austin.
Yeah.
Tell them.
I did not think the acting was very good in this film. The effects kind of look cheesy, in my honest opinion.
Yes.
And I felt like some of the pills that people were taking, people knew what they were taking, that other ones, they were like, whatever, just throw it in and explode and shit. It was a very strange roller coaster experience that I didn't feel got me off the ground.
Okay. It was a land roller coaster. Justin.
Like, is that a train? What do you mean? A land
I guess, right? It's a train. That's just a train.
That's all it is.
That's not anything. It's just a train.
Train wreck, more
Please
like.
clip that. That's hilarious.
All right.
No, so Project Power is a movie that I actually watched twice. I mean, I watched it a month or so ago just to watch it, and then I watched it again for this show. It's interesting. I think I would agree with Austin and that the idea is very cool and the execution is not so great. I think that technically there are some really interesting things happening with the movie with these newer filmmakers and some of the things that they did and choices that they made. The writing certainly struggles, I think, which, as we'll talk about, totally lost his name, Madison Tomlin. As we'll talk about later, the writing was certainly a little off on this movie in a lot of aspects, but there were some cool things to it. Overall, Netflix original movies have gotten better over the years. I mean, at first they just when no studio wanted to buy one, it went to Netflix. Now Netflix can just afford to buy everything, so they have a lot of high-profile filmmakers. They're bringing in a lot of A-list talent, and their movies are getting better. Not only their dramas, but some of their action movies and things like that. We didn't have a summer of blockbusters and of action movies this year, so this was kind of a way to fill the void by having some Netflix stuff come out. It's kind of fun, but it's like it just didn't quite make the most of what it could have been.
Yeah, I personally did not enjoy the movie. I fell asleep during the movie, which, to me is a good bar to whether or not the movie is worth my time, because I'm a busy dude, and if I sit down to watch a movie and it puts me to sleep, then that means that my body thought, nah, you know what, it's better that we sleep. So I think that the movie was, looking at the poster, looking at the concept, was very exciting. JGL, Jamie Foxx, love both of those dudes. Cool, young, black actress, cool. Superpower pill. All right, I'm here. It's kind of like, at its best, it could have been Pacific Rim, and at its worst, it could have been the Green Lantern with Seth Rogen.
What?
You mean the Green
What?
Hornet?
Hold on. Wait, where are you pulling those out of? Pacific Rim? How's this like Pacific Rim?
Because Pacific Rim in concept is very basic, right? Like it's like robots, monsters, they fight.
Okay.
But the original Pacific Rim movie is one of the best action movies of the past 2 decades.
Yeah, I love that movie.
So it's just kind of like, I think at its best it could have been really great, but I think this just absolutely fell flat. Some of the topics we're going to get into tonight. Austin's proposed, would you join the military for superpowers?
Always on my mind.
Right.
Always.
Which animal power would you get? Because the pills, did anybody actually get how the animals play into this?
It's just random. The pills are created by taking qualities and traits of animals and then putting them into pill form in order to create these sort of powers or abilities in humans. So you don't have a choice. It's completely random, and you don't find out what you get until you take your first pill. But then you always get the same ability every time you take your own specific pill. So like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, when he takes his pill for 5 minutes, his skin is like an armadillo's, where it's like rock hard and a bullet can't damage it at all. He's essentially bulletproof, right? But it's not because he's like an armadillo, I don't think, at all. Like, I don't think it has to do with the fact
See,
that...
I thought that's what it had. There was like something that it was your animal that you were closest DNA to.
No, I don't remember them mentioning anything like that. And
Okay.
I mean, it's nice for him because he's a cop and he becomes bulletproof, so that's
Right.
certainly convenient. But I don't think there's any correlation, at least not that I remember, between this person getting this specific animal's trait.
Austin, you are our sci-fi anime expert. Can you
Enlighten us, brother.
Can you piece this together for me?
So here's how I took it as, and I even put this as the question when I sent it to you. I think
You
that
did put it as a question mark. Too. It was funny.
the pill, when you take it, is essentially based, let's say, on your personality, like your ability. That's why when Newt, the like hot, flashy, like drug dealer, his pill power is fire.
Right.
Like when you take the pill, I think that it bases it around you as a whole. I don't think
Right.
it comes from a specific animal that you get until you enter it, or you enter the pill. And then the pill decides on its own what power you should get. And some that aren't worthy,
Do I have
as
the
is
name
on
of this
film,
movie wrong on the thing?
blow up.
Project Power.
I do. I have it flipped. I have it as Power Project.
I didn't catch that at all. That's okay. In-house edits. Love it. That's interesting though, Austin, because
Zach.
I didn't get that sense at all that it was that the pill for the specific animal quality you get correlates to it at all. But maybe our boy Zach can break the discussion here for us. So,
Hey,
If we're talking
welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. Let me throw all my shit here.
So
Dude, take your time.
what we
Don't
were
rush.
just getting into here was we're talking about, we didn't get to the categories yet. We were talking about the pill and how the animal effects correlate to the person who takes them. Whether Austin says it's the sort of qualities that you have as a person determine what type of trait you get, where I think it's just more random, and I don't know that there's a connection that they established in the movie. So do you know if you got anything about that?
No, I don't think it made any fucking sense whatsoever. I spent way too much fucking time thinking about this last night. That Jamie Lee Fox had the best power, and it was a fucking shrimp power or some shit.
Jamie Lee Fox.
Whatever.
Jamie Lee
Lee
Curtis
Fox.
Yeah.
and Jamie Fox as one incredible actor.
There's a deep fake
Yeah.
I'd like to see.
That's
There we
pretty
go.
great.
Do you want to, Zach? Do you want to give us your? Because we just did our general thoughts. Do you want to
Yeah.
give us yours too before we get into it? Because Austin thought it was okay. I thought it was some good, some bad. Josh hated it.
Yeah, I was very excited. I got a little update that I was tagged in an Instagram video of Josh saying that the movie was terrible, and I was worried that I was going to be the only one coming in here saying this is the worst fucking movie I've seen in a long time. But yeah,
Zach, would you like some whiskey or a beer?
I'll have a beer, I guess.
Open up the fridge behind you.
Oh Jesus Christ! But yeah, this movie was fucking awful.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna talk about which animal power you would get. Why this cast, which I totally agree with that as a question mark. Every action thriller trope. White people writing black dialogue. New Orleans as a character, and then we're going to do overrated, underrated Netflix original movies. So that's kind of what's in store tonight for the show. Thank everybody for jumping on here. We're going to take a small commercial break. Let Zach kind of collect his thoughts as he runs into the studio. And we will be right back after these messages.
Let's dive right into sports, as I have strong opinions on that. Which college team could beat a professional team in the same sport right now?
Okay.
There is not a single answer that is better than the LSU Tigers defeating the Cincinnati Bengals.
Even if I know the pitch that's coming, every other part of me is still normal.
That's why it's frustrating for me, Greg.
It's like okay, if I know what something is coming, I know ahead of time. I still have to be able to do the action to get the result that I need.
Okay, so they won 3 games in 10 years with 3 rebuilds.
I don't lose at arguments. All right.
Especially about fast food. So yeah.
You will never walk alone. Guess what? Now you will. Coronavirus.
I barely touch my girlfriend's cat. The most I'd be willing to do is like just kind of put my finger on its forehead and just like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with us is Alex Kazor from Steelers Depot.
We are live with Ryan Smith, professional cornhole player in the ACL. Ryan,
What all franchise were you able to work with in the NHL?
With Phoenix, Carolina, and Detroit.
So here is Moorhead's ranking. Moorhead is my cousin. He is the rank king.
Higher
Top 10 extra Power Rangers.
Oh.
This is the top 10 emo songs of the 2000s.
There's only one correct answer for number 1. Why is F is for Family better than Futurama when Futurama is like Star
think-
Wars for potheads? Like
I know.
I'm-
So I take.
We have one or two that are mad in the chat.
You're welcome for that.
Alright, we're gonna get banned.
All right, and we're back. Thursday at 6 p.m., 2 beers deep. Derek's not on the show this week. Austin will have a ranking. Justin Boyd's filling in. chaos will happen. There. That's my plug. So let's do our first topic. Would you join the military for superpowers? Austin, this is your question, so why don't you go ahead and lead the discussion here?
I think it's interesting to think how like companies try to push a certain thing for you to join something. So let's take enhance like when in the world we live today where nobody wants to be a cop, no one wants to be in the military and everything for all the ramifications that have been going along with it. Does getting a pill that enhances an ability for you to have a superpower sway that in any way?
Anybody want to tackle that first?
It depends, I think, on the superpower, right? I mean, if it's like this, where it's if you get 5 minutes of something random, not worth it for me. If I knew what the power was and it was cool, like I don't want to be anyone's lab rat. So just in general, I'm like, yeah.
Let's go off the feeling that you'll know what power you'll get. Let's say that to kind of niche away the random discussion.
Do I have to use my power for the military? Is that the thing here?
Yes, you are in the military and you are using your power for the military.
It's like The Boys.
Yeah.
No.
My comparison. I'm glad you caught on to that.
Yeah, that's a good show. Season 2 is out now. No, I wouldn't.
Zach, you're deep in thought.
Yeah, I think it would be, and I'm glad this was brought up. It would be, very much determined on what my power was. If I joined the military, my sign-on bonus was the superpower, and I got the pill that just blows me the fuck up, I'd be like, wow, that was not fantastic. I could have spent my time doing something else.
That was not a good decision.
Yeah, but then just thinking that, the military isn't going to pimp me out for whatever power I choose, like, I don't really love the idea of that either. And then, I don't know. I don't even know what. No, fuck them.
Also, an interesting question in the chat there.
Oh.
What's the deployment time? So how long would you be out on leave with this power for the military? That's a good question. I mean, if it's a couple months, that's different than a couple years for sure. But yeah, no, I really, again, I don't think so. No.
Well, I was just thinking, if everybody in the military had like souped up superpowers, would military like campaigns even be like a trying thing at one point?
I mean, the first country to figure it out, no. But then everybody would replicate it, and then it would just get into Avengers where they're destroying Manhattan.
So, either we're the only ones that have it, and world peace is within like 3 days, or it's mutual destruction within like a week. So,
right.
This is like the whole
Not
plot
ideal.
of The Boys. Like they're
So-
the whole thing is like they're trying to get the superheroes into the military, so they create super terrorists in order to have somebody to fight, like with the military and the
So,
superheroes.
Project Power, don't watch that. Instead, go watch The Boys.
Definitely recommend that show.
Yeah.
But Josh, what's your answer to this question?
I've never won a fight. I've never held a real gun. I don't think that a superpower would then give me the ability to do those things. So I have very little interest in any of this.
Yeah, and the powers in the movie are, I don't even know. Powers like not the right word. They're like
Weird
abilities.
conveniences and inconveniences.
Yeah, like if you could, like the guy who can camouflage himself, like that's kind of interesting. And if you were in the army or the military and you could completely camouflage your entire body into any environment, obviously that's going to be really helpful and more interesting than like, I don't know, what are the other people in this movie that have shit
There's
powers?
a power I think that would work very well for the military, and there's two actually. It's the bulletproof, obviously, that would help. And then you have the ability that I think the frog, I think that's what they said, it breaks its own bones to make weapons.
So
I think-
Wolverine.
Yeah, essentially. But I think that would be interesting instead of like, using like a simple like bayonet or anything.
A
Do they even
bayonet?
fight
What-
with bayonets
is this-
anymore? Is that a thing? Like,
in the Civil War?
are they running at each other? Is this
You're talking with a history guy here. I'm just bringing it up. That's all.
all right?
the Kaiser comes back, we're gonna be ready with frog people.
Cyber warfare and bayonets. That's what 2020 is.
Okay. Which animal power would you get? Which Austin wants it to be based off of. We're going off of Austin's concept that it's based more off of your personality, not the randomness that it may or may not also be based off of. This movie sucked. It made no fucking sense. The writing was bad. I'm fucking peeking like crazy because I'm yelling.
It's all that whiskey, man.
All right, so I guess there you go, Austin. I would have the Machine Gun Kelly fucking power. Was that actually Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, it wasn't like a just wannabe Machine Gun Kelly.
No, it was MGK. Yeah.
All right, as long as it was actually MGK, I'm okay with it. We'll get to another Netflix movie too that dangled one of my favorite celebrities in front of me, and they were in the first 5 minutes of that movie, and that pissed me off. Anyway, I guess I'll take Machine Gun Kelly's firepower. Hey, that works on 2 levels.
Wow, there's no way.
All right,
There's
shut
no way
the
you
show
planned
down.
that.
It's fucking over.
There's no way you planned that.
Literally, I thought the reaction on my face and how blushing I am
Yeah.
from being a fucking idiot.
Nicely done, though.
All right.
Austin, what about you? Because it's your question. And to reiterate for anyone who's just joining, the premise of the movie is you take a pill, you get 5 minutes of a special power / ability, and it's based off of the abilities that animals have, whether it's thermal regulation of your body temperature or camouflage or rock hard skin or things like that. So the traits that these people get are based off of animal qualities and abilities. So, Austin, what about you, buddy?
See, my original one was to go with Josh took because I've been kind of known as a hothead, and with
Really?
letting go, well, you know what to say.
No, I do not know you to be a hothead. And
It's just like
you and I
certain-
have had a number of difficult conversations over your shitty fucking rankings. So,
Whoa, whoa. Careful now. This guy is a hothead, okay? It's going to come out.
So that's really interesting that that's the power you think that your personality would give you.
Well, let's use it with this, for example.
Okay.
I love to use it as a combination of how most people do fire and ice, right? Like you're either completely like overwhelmed, pissed off, emotion, or you're just cold to the bone. And to me, I feel like this movie, fuck, you're right. I hate this movie. I feel like this movie would have been a lot better if you had the ability to combine powers in different pills. But that's another discussion for later that we can have. But I would say originally it's probably a combination of MGK's character with the fire and then the woman in the chamber with the ice power.
Okay. Zach?
I just want to reiterate also that I thought this movie was terrible, and just thinking about Joseph Gordon-Levitt's power. I mean, and then thinking of the cutscene where they show the animals. He had armadillo power, is what they were telling us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Think about that. Armadillo power. Think about how fucking depressing that is. How whack that is.
When you say armadillo power, it definitely takes away from it, right? But he had like bulletproof skin is essentially what it was.
Yeah, armadillo power. It's fucked up. I don't know. I'm just a guy.
I'm just
do
a
I have
dude.
to pick one from the movie or just like an animal power?
Go off book.
I would just like to be able to see at night when I drive better. So maybe I'm just a regular fucking guy. I wear glasses.
So practical.
Yeah. I have astigmatism, so I get the little like streaks from the streetlights sometimes, and if it's raining and it's hard to see the center line, I'd just like to be able to see better at night. So I guess like a cat or like an owl.
An owl? Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna set a bat, but then I would just be like screaming at my windshield, and I would crash instantly because
You'd be echoing off the
echolocation.
windshield.
Yeah,
That was very funny.
yeah. So just something that sees good at night.
Apex
That's enough
11.
for me.
When you shoot an armadillo in the head, it still dies. I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think so,
Probably.
right? But there's
Yep.
that one quick clip in the movie where it like goes into a shell and
Yeah.
it's like a circular
Yeah.
ball, almost like a bulletproof ball. I don't know if that's how armadillos work at all. I don't
If
no.
if Joseph Gordon-Levitt would have
Also,
turned
this
into
is Nico.
Geodude,
Hey,
that would have been
Nico.
way fucking cooler than Armadillo Power. If he actually just balled up and became.
Nico, let
rolled
us
down
know
the
if
street?
Yeah.
you watched this
Yeah.
movie, because this was. Nico would have been a good person to have in this discussion too, because he is of the same ilk that Austin is, where he likes sci-fi horror stuff. So let me know if you watch this movie, Nico. Justin.
I would have something fast because I have no patience at all, and I hate when like my time is wasted, and I'm always just thinking ahead. So I'd be like a freaking Roadrunner or something fast and annoying.
Okay.
Not
so,
a cheetah. It wouldn't be cool fast. It would be annoying.
Also,
fast.
what animal breathes fire?
A dragon?
That's what it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Where did the
Godzilla
fire
sucks.
come from?
Godzilla?
Is it a fire ant?
The guy who just combusts. Yeah, I don't know what that power is.
Is that the opposite of like the thermo temperature, where like the lady
Yeah,
is becoming like
hold
icy?
on. I'm gonna see.
She,
if
yeah, because she could not regulate her temperature properly, which is why she froze to death. So maybe
Yes.
his is like just a good version where he can. I don't know. Or maybe a fire ant, like you said, Josh. I don't
Okay,
know.
so Nico did watch it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly's character like burst into flame. He was like Johnny Storm when
Yeah.
he took this pill. So I don't know what animal he got the flame power from.
Are you Googling it, Austin? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm seeing what animal it's based off of.
We can come back to
All
it.
right, anyway. All right, next topic. Zach, this is yours.
Yes.
Why this cast?
I
Right?
mean, I have so many fucking questions about this.
Okay.
But to start it off, when I got the text that this is the movie we would be discussing,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I've seen the Facebook trailer of MGK, and it's like, oh, MGK is a real hot man in this new movie or whatever it said, and it was just like the clip of him on fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that looks like shit. Like, I can't believe we're doing this, you know. No offense. No offense. I'm just, I'm just being honest, So then I was like, I'm going to Wikipedia it. Maybe I'm wrong here. And I saw Jamie Foxx, no Lee, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then it kept going downhill, and it kept getting fucking worse and worse. Like, I'm tired of MGK. I don't want to fucking see MGK in anything. I don't want to hear him rapping. I don't want to see him play guitar. I don't want to see him with Travis Barker. Like, I've had enough. Like,
Okay.
I'm at peak MGK.
Right.
And I was like, okay, not a great sign. And then I saw Casey Neistat, and I said, nope, there's no fucking way this movie's not going to suck. This movie's going to be fucking terrible.
Who's Casey Neistat?
That YouTuber with the fucked up nose?
Yeah.
His character's name is Moto, because Moto.
Oh.
So he also looks like the guy that played one of the like agents, because I was like, is that him? Like, I thought he was uglier, and then I saw him and I was like, no, he is as ugly as I remember. But same with MGK, like, he didn't really have a just look at that fucking face. Like,
I couldn't even tell you who this is in the movie though, because he has such a small part.
he is
Who is
the
he in the movie?
like the boyfriend ish of the chick that turns into ice.
So
He's like a
from
seller?
So from what I've read here, it's not based on any specific animal. It's just that
This is the fire. Okay.
this is the fire and the cold, actually. Which it's the power, like we said, of thermoregulation, which almost every animal in the animal kingdom has. So it's the most basic, I guess. And I would say it's the most basic and also the least amount to be controlled, right? Because both of them end up exploding, in a sense.
Well, that's interesting that you say it's the most basic. I don't know how many animals actually have thermal regulation, but in the movie,
Lizards.
he says, the guy, overseeing the whole thing, he says, "Oh, this is very rare, thermal regulation." So it was a rare trait in the movie. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it correlates to how rare it is in nature, but in any case, so yeah, there's not a real explanation for it.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
So let's talk a little bit about the people behind the movie inside of this cast bit. Okay, so we have, Jesus, I'm having fat fingers today. Ariel Schulman, who did anything before this? Like, what's his rap sheet?
I did the research, and
Okay.
it was as alarming as the cast.
Okay. What's his
So,
rap sheet?
I saw it's co-directed by Jonathan Hoost. Hoost.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So they both have done multiple films together, including such hits as
Mm-hmm.
Paranormal Activity 3 and 4 and Catfish.
Okay, so is Hoos the original Paranormal Activity? No.
No.
Is
No, that was Warren Pelly.
Which is bad because the third one is kind of where it started going.
downhill.
Yes.
Yeah, and they also directed Nerve, with Dave Franco and Emma Roberts.
Also, the one dude is Neve from Catfish's brother.
Okay. So disturbing. Okay, what else?
Yeah, but these are those are the directors, not the cast.
Right. That's the director. And then we had Matt Tomlinson.
Mattson Tomlin.
Thank you. Who was the writer? Let's see what else he managed to pull out.
He's
Oh,
a newer writer.
nothing.
He's been around for a while, but he's very big right now because he's co-writing the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson that Matt Reeves is
I
directing.
hope the dialogue is so much better in that than this.
I'm so discouraged right now.
He looks discouraged in this photo. Austin, you can't see it, but
I'm seeing the.
okay, good.
on his-
let's kind of keep diving in on the big three members of the cast here, though. And let's start with Dominique Fishback. Did we like her? I mean, she's very young in the movie. I feel like she can't be older than 16 or 17. And I thought she was believable, though. I liked her as a character. Like, I was cheering for her.
Mm-hmm. I like her. I think she's a very solid young actress, and this is one of her first things. So she's very green, very new on the scene. I think it's interesting if you take out all of her raps from the movie. I don't know how much I like the character because if she pulls those off incredibly well, even though she said she didn't write them herself, but the way she delivers them is fantastic. But that's such a big part of her character. Like, her most powerful scenes are those freestyles that she busts out, right? So if you take those away, I don't know how much, like, I'm not over the moon, like, oh, this is the best young actress ever, but she definitely held her own against two of these veterans of Hollywood, in Jamie Foxx and JGL. So
yeah, she wasn't. That's a brilliant way to put it, because these are these are Hall of Fame level actors. These are dudes who have Oscars. These are dudes who have been in blockbusters, who have made their name as A-list celebrities. And she holds her own. She's not lost or crushed by either of their star power in these scenes. Nico says she was probably my favorite out of everyone. I would agree that she was a great character, or not a great character, but she acted fairly well, and I'll be interested to see what she does moving on after that. Guys, do you have any? Austin, Zach?
Well, it's the whole point of, like, a character that believes in something so much to get them out of a certain situation, right? Like, that's why if you take the rapping out, like, it wouldn't make any sense, because that's her way to get out of where they are, like the situation. That needs to be in there. Otherwise, this character totally flops. And that's the most believable part of this, because people do it every day, man. They want to believe in something to get out and to flourish and explore and be able to be who they are.
So it's interesting that you bought into that part of it, and I'm not saying it to pick on you, but we'll talk about this later. White guys writing black dialogue. That felt like such an overused trope and like such an easy out that it bothered me. So like, well, I'm gonna rap, and then we have like the scene where she like raps at the teacher, which, like, had it actually happened would have been cool, but it was just a fucking dream sequence that pissed me off in this movie anyway. But like, to me, that just felt like okay, how many like, you couldn't come up with a better fucking thing for her? Like, she's a drug dealer. Like, why couldn't she try to like become like a pharmacist to cure diabetes or something, because her mom had diabetes? She could have been a doctor. She could have, you know what I mean? Like, it just felt like some tried bullshit.
I just want to hop on this real quick, where I agree. I think she was my favorite performance in the movie. I thought the rapping was very cringy. I don't know. I was not a fan. But then I was also kind of confused about, she said that, she was rapping to, like, get out of her situation. But then was afraid to rap in the first scene where we think she's actually rapping. It's a dream sequence, but then she's actually like a drug dealer, and I mean these pills are going for $500 a pop. So I'm like, you're rapping to like make it out, but you're afraid to rap, but you're also not really rapping them, but you're making $500 a pop on these fucking pills. Like, maybe time to put them dreams on the back burner.
Well, the pills,
Start slinging the shit.
The pills though, because she said her grandmother or her mother needed an operation, right? So that's what the money was going towards. It's like $10,000 or something like that.
Did they give a price to the operation?
I think she said 10,000.
Okay.
But then also when she's like at the, it's, forgive me because
You're good, dude. We
it
all
was
feel
so
the same
easy
way.
to just fall into this movie and absorb everything. So they're at like a vet, and she's sewing up Jamie Foxx.
Mm-hmm.
How does she know how to do that from her mom? Like,
I'm gonna come
where
over
the
there and
fuck-
hug you.
like what the fuck was that? It's just like the family practice. We're at the vet. I'll sew you up. I've been doing this for years.
It's another
but
trope.
But I'm gonna be a rapper.
It's another trope.
I'm
It's
afraid to
another
rap.
abused action thriller trope. We can't go to the hospital. Let's take him to a vet.
Right.
I've seen it so many fucking times. The first time you see it, you're like, oh, cool. And then like, there's a TV show where the vet, they kill people and they take them to the vet, and the vet incarcerates them not incarcerates, incinerates them for them. I can't remember what that was. It was a good show. But it must have not been that good. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, no, Zach, I'm right on the same page with you. Nico says, I don't think she kept all the money. That's not how drug dealing works. And then he put the zipper mouth emoji.
No, that was in this movie though. That was in this movie. They said, you guys sell this for whatever you want and keep all the money yourselves. So
Yeah,
not that that's like proving a point.
because it's a government experiment in the long run, right?
Right. Yeah. They
Right.
just wanted to track how the effects work.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
we have the rapping on the topic or on the subject list for later as part of
Yes.
New Orleans. But since we're on the subject, I do want to talk to you guys about that just because we're on it
Sure.
right now. And I think that when she was actually rapping, I thought it came off well. Like, she was talented, and I thought the raps worked and everything. But the problem that I had is that it happened so many times throughout the movie. Like, there are 3 or 4 long scenes where she is like, this is her dream sequence where she's imagining telling her teacher to go fuck himself. But there's like a couple other ones where Jamie Foxx for like 5 minutes just makes her prove that she can rap.
That
to
scene
him.
was painful.
And it's just like, why are we still doing this? Like, we get that's what she wants to do, but why does she have to keep like proving it and keep bringing this up in all these different scenes? So it's like, it wasn't that she was a rapper or her ability that was weird to me. It was just like how frequently we had to see that when it like didn't really relate to anything at all in this movie. Like, yeah, that's how she wanted to get out, but this movie, it didn't really have anything to do with it. So to see like 3 or 4 long ass scenes of like, let me show you how good I am at rapping, like,
Right.
it just didn't go anywhere, and that was my whole thing.
I agree. Okay. How about JGL? I am predetermined to love him. I will go in, like, I will make up reasons why he's good in a movie because it's JGL. Very similar to Tom Hardy.
Nobody's on Tom Hardy's level.
Well,
except
let's be honest.
for maybe fucking Paul Rudd, but let's that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of the greatest actors of a generation. I don't know what we're talking about.
They're the same generation. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey,
it's a whole nother thing.
He was forgettable.
Yeah.
Like, literally, when she's running around with Jamie Foxx forever, and then he shows back up, he's like, "And you just trust him?" And I'm like, "Oh, JGL, you are so much better than this shit. This is rough." And also, Justin's like, "Oh, I want to talk about his Cajun accent." He had a Cajun accent. Did anybody pick that up?
Yeah, it was there.
No.
I missed it. I missed it.
It wasn't super heavy, but it was there. It was definitely there.
No, it wasn't.
You know what's interesting about JGL is that he took some time off from acting while he was raising kids. He was raising his daughter, and so he was away for a couple years. And he came back with this and a movie called 7500, which is where he's the pilot of a plane that gets hijacked. and it's sort of like a contained thriller on the plane, which also just came out this summer. But so he had stepped away from acting for a little bit, and this is what he came back with in that other movie. But this obviously being the bigger of the two.
Well,
so
yeah, I
that's
mean,
interesting.
even if the pitcher's been in the league for 15 years, you got to send him to AAA ball to get warmed up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, go ahead, Zach.
I think he needs to go check on his daughter again. If this is what you're coming, I've seen the trailer. It's like for the plane one. It's like a Amazon Prime original.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess bills are bills because you got kids and shit. But god damn, dude, if this is what you're coming back with,
That one's supposed to be very good. I haven't seen it, but I know the reviews for it are pretty strong. But I would say, tell me if you guys agree in this movie particularly. I think JGL and Jamie Foxx were fine, but their talents were a little bit wasted. Like, the material is below what they are capable of
Absolutely.
and what they should be doing. Because, like, they're okay, but the material is, they just don't have enough to work with. Like, they can only take it so far. Like, he's forgettable because the role is forgettable, not because he's bad in it. You know what I mean? Do you guys agree with that?
I'll agree for JGL, but not Jamie. I think Jamie Foxx was just fucking bad.
Yeah.
And at some point, I wanted to talk about just like what happened to Jamie Foxx. Like,
Hang
where
on a
did-
second. Let's
Yeah,
finish
yeah,
on JGL
yeah.
because I have some feelings about Jamie Foxx too.
Well, one more thing about JGL
Yeah.
in this role. I don't even know if Justin Timberlake still acts like ever, but it felt like a role that I was like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is playing either Justin Timberlake playing this role or just give me Justin Timberlake in this role. Like, it just seemed like not. I don't know. Like,
It's so
just
funny you say that. Like,
give me JT and Alpha Dogs playing this fucking role, and I'll be like, way better off. But
now that you say that, I'm like, this isn't Justin Timberlake.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I would
especially
never
for,
would have
like, a
thought that in a
Netflix
million years, but
original.
now it's like, oh, yeah, this is like a runner, Justin Timberlake.
If
Yeah,
you
essentially.
recast this movie with Justin Timberlake and Will Smith, it's 1,000 times better.
I don't think so.
I don't know about Will.
I don't want Will.
Okay. Okay. Austin, did you have any strong feelings about JGL? The other three-lettered man.
Okay. Was his eye red because of the shot that he took to the head?
Yes.
Because that felt like his eye was red for so fucking long. I thought it was like just a condition at this point that, okay, this dude just got a red eye. And
He got
could
shot
say-
in the head. He got shot in the temple.
but he had armadillo skin. Like, it
That's
should
why
be.
it's only his blood, the blood vessel burst instead of his brain bursting.
I feel like they could have done without it. The
Nico, Nico said after 50-50, he's my vote for everything, and Will Smith already did the half-orc elf movie, which we'll get to. But
Right.
Austin, good, keep going, bud.
I think that the favorite scene that I had with him in was when he came through the window and tried to act like he was in a relationship with
Yes.
Riley.
The mother.
That was a great scene.
That was hilarious.
That was old school JGL. Like,
Yeah.
That was like Don Juan JGL. He's
yeah,
badass in that
yeah,
scene.
just super charming and funny, and got through it. It was great.
And to add to this real quick,
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll get into it when you talk about your trope thing, but Renegade Cop.
Yeah. Not
was
his
it?
not his best renegade cop.
You have to obey by the law. No, I don't.
Like even being like a renegade cop, like he was still playing by the rules. Like he's taking a drug.
Doesn't play by the rules, or sometimes play by the rules.
Yeah, like it was so bad.
No, what? He wasn't playing. He was not playing. He was distinctly not playing by the rules by
But
taking
even
the pill.
but it felt like he wasn't doing anything that bad. Because like he still got to be a cop after he got caught.
Yeah, like him being a law enforcement officer had nothing to do with anything he did in the movie.
No.
And I mean, they could have spared me the weird scene where the chief has a fucking newspaper clipping
Yes.
tucked in his fitted, like a picture of his
I
wife
watched
from
that.
their prom or some
I
shit.
kept rewinding it to see if he put the thing in there before. No.
No.
Nope.
Just
It was
carrying it
just
around.
it was in there.
Just carrying it
It's
around.
this guy.
It
This
was
guy
like
right
an
here.
old fucking clip too. It was like all aged and shit, like he had it for like 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
Because the hat stood out. Like the hat.
Yeah.
Hang on, we have that clip. Let me pull this clip up.
The New Orleans police
Yeah.
hat. Yeah.
As soon as it came up, I was like,
Okay.
And then he puts the hat on the table and he slides it across.
And then JG
This-
he was gonna get
yeah.
in trouble for handing him that piece of paper. Like what the fuck? All right, here. Okay, that's not a realistic cop hat.
No.
They only had one of those on set, and they're like, "Don't lose this. It's key part of the movie.
It's where he keeps all his newspaper
This
clippings.
is where he keeps all
They
his
had to go to
important
the-
files.
Get
had to go
in,
to
like
the
the
mall.
clearance section at
He
Boots.
refuses
Like,
to
Yeah.
use a smartphone.
His important
Has
files.
to keep all of his files in his fucking hat.
Hard copies. He's old
This
school.
is so bad.
He's old school.
It's one of those ones that you have like stitched for you at lids. in, like,
Yes.
5 minutes.
Yes.
Like, okay, sir, pick your font. You want to say New Orleans PD? Okay, this might
Also,
be
this bothers me in this scene. It says Louisiana football. I guess they couldn't afford to buy an LSU rights to a poster behind him.
I'm so glad you said that. In the opening scene, MGK's drinking a big slurp or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's like from like 2D. Like it's clearly like a 7-Eleven big gulp,
Yeah.
but it's called like the large slurp, and it's like 2D on it instead of 7-Eleven. And that was my first like, I was like, MGK might be a bad guy, and they don't want to be associated with a villain, but holy shit, if 7-Eleven wouldn't even co-sign this,
Right.
The knock
Had, like
What-
Shell
what am
gas
I doing?
do this, like of all things, and you don't even have like 7-Eleven slurp cups.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. It was. Oh man, it was brutal.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, Jamie Foxx then. Move on to
Yeah.
him.
Let's talk about Jamie Foxx, and I want to say this before we dig on Jamie Foxx.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Foxx to me has gotten to the same level that Robert Downey Jr. is. Where
Whoa.
Where-
I didn't know about that one.
where when you need him to come in with an Oscar performance, he's going to fucking light it on fire and he's going to kill it. But other than that, you're just going to get Jamie Foxx being Jamie Foxx in a movie.
I buy that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's
think-
I just want to put that out there because he was just being Jamie Foxx in a movie in this one. He was not being Ray or his upcoming biopic about Mike Tyson, which he's going to fucking destroy.
What
Right.
movie was he worse in? This one or The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Oh, that one for sure. That,
That
movie was so
was
bad.
really bad too.
Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Anyway, so feel free to now, open season, but like I just wanted to point out that I put him at that level with a why do I keep saying like I just literally keep saying Tony Stark in my head. Robert Downey Jr. So, Zach, how'd you feel about the legendary Jamie Foxx?
So I'm kind of really upset you brought up the Mike Tyson thing because I saw him doing his impression and it was fucking like amazing.
Spot on.
And so that kind of takes some wind out of my sails because I was gonna say I didn't see Baby Driver, but I had to go through his his IMDb of
Mhm,
his recent films, and I was like Ray, The Soloist, Django. They're all great movies and like great performances, and then I had to watch this piece of shit, and I was like, why? Like what? And I started to think like maybe he just like fell off. And I mean, because I was thinking like you have like John Cusack now or Nick Cage, where all these actors just like used to do pretty decent work. I think Jamie Foxx is a better actor than Nick Cage, probably. But and then eventually they just started doing these straight to Redbox movies. And I mean, this was a straight to Redbox movie that got lucky that it ended up on Netflix. But it was just so bad. Like,
You're saying that his acting specifically was bad?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't like it at all. Anytime he talked, I was just like focused on how upset I was that like this was the level I was getting from Jamie Foxx, especially when he used to do like fucking hits.
Well, what do
this
you mean?
was just like
What about it was bad to you? Like, obviously, it's not a dramatic role, so it's not like someone he dives into. But is there anything specifically that you kind of were bugged by with his performance?
I maybe just like Josh said, it was just Jamie Foxx being like Jamie Foxx. Like I didn't feel like he was committed to a character, and maybe it's the reaction that he naturally gives from like poor writing, because the writing in the movie obviously sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't
But
good.
and I mean, I don't know how much faith I give in giving promising direction from the guys from Paranormal Activity 3 and 4 and Catfish, but I just feel like, I mean, even if it's a shitty fucking role, like, I feel like he just was like, yeah, this is a shitty role, and I'm just gonna say the words on the paper, and it made me sad.
I don't think that's too unrealistic though, because Netflix, they pay out the ass for everybody because they care so much about attracting. They want to be taken seriously in the film community, so they care about attracting the big A-list people, and they've always been willing to, because they have the money to pay more than crappy material is worth to get big people into it. So, like when Adam Sandler was kind of declining at the box office, they would pay him $20 million to do a movie there, even though it was like a total piece of shit. So I don't think you're wrong in that sense, where like it could have easily just been a cash grab for him. That's not unrealistic at all.
But don't you think, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think even though Adam Sandler Netflix movies aren't great, I feel like it's kind of brought like a bit of a resurgence to like his career almost, where I think other people that end up doing some of these Netflix movies and just kind of phone it in are on the way out. So as much as I want to think Jesus Christ, Jamie Foxx, was just doing this for a cash grab, especially with like Tyson on the horizon, I'm sure, just from what I've seen, this was probably a role he was aware of at the time that they were doing this. That I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
the
The
beauty.
movie sucked, and it makes me sad that he was so fucking bad in it. I don't know.
The beauty of it from an actor's perspective is that there's essentially no risk involved with doing a crappy Netflix movie, because there's no box office for it, so there's not any way that you're going to know if it's a bomb, right? Like, you'll know if it's great if it's like, yeah, Bird Box was watched by 80 million people. Like, those numbers will come out. But if they're not, it just gets buried in the archive of like countless pages of Netflix stuff. So it definitely takes the risk away for actors. So you can get paid a ton of money. There's zero risk at all if it's crappy. So I think everything you're saying is accurate though for what this probably was.
Well, and Justin, let me ask you. Oh, I'm sorry, Zach. Go ahead. You're still on the same.
Yeah,
page.
just one last thing.
Yeah.
So let's say that Tyson wasn't, the next, big Jamie Foxx role we know about, and it was just, another movie like Baby Driver, which I think is like an original, concept and such. Would you not be less inclined to see his next film now after seeing this? Because I know you say there's no risk because there's no box office, but this does not make me want to watch anything, but I'll see the Tyson movie because
right,
I love Tyson.
I don't personally like, if there's actors out there that I like, if they do a bad role, that doesn't turn me off from wanting to see their next thing. I don't think, I mean, it's everyone's gonna
How
have
many shitty Johnny Depp movies have you watched?
That guy's a whole different thing. But yeah, I mean, it's like even like Big Will Smith, my boy, right? But he does a movie like 7 Pounds, which is kind of and Men in Black 3, which is like, I'll still see.
True.
What was that for? Are you a big Men in Black 3 fan?
I think Men in Black 3 is probably the best movie of the franchise, just for the last 10 minutes of it.
Wow.
The ending, I watched it like 2 weeks ago, and I fucking cried still.
Maybe I need to go back and rewatch it.
The end of Men in Black 3 is a top 5
it was a good
of
ending.
any film
That's right.
ever.
With Tommy Lee Jones' character. Yeah, that's true. But to answer your original question, so like, if an actor does a bad role, I wouldn't say it wouldn't want me to see their next one. If anything, maybe I'd want to see Tyson more to be like, this looks amazing, and because he just did such a crappy thing, now I'm even more curious. But
that's fair.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about Jamie Foxx in this movie?
Well, let me ask you this real quick. Do you think that there's something to be said when they are going to do a big dramatic role that maybe they spend more time focusing on that, and they don't do their 3 movies a year, so they need to do a Netflix movie to make up for that income?
It's certainly possible. And like you said, when Jamie Foxx just needs to go in and be himself for a couple months in New Orleans and get paid 10 or 15 million, like, absolutely. I got time, and I'll take that easy money for sure.
Right, yeah. Austin, did you have any strong feelings about the one and only Jamie Foxx?
He's the most forgettable character in this film.
Wow. Okay.
And it starts off like this because it felt like he didn't have a distinct role to play. And here's my take on it. At the beginning, you feel like he's kind of like this, like anti-hero sort of thing. Like he does shit his own way just to try it again. But then his role switches to very sympathetic, like father figure. And for me, that completely threw off the rails. Like if you're going to pick a design of a character, you have to stick with that design of the character. You can't flip-flop and roll the dice hoping that all this is going to make sense. And I feel that's what this entire film was. I feel like they rolled the dice and ended up on Snake Eyes.
I think to that point, I'm definitely in agreeing with you. And tell me, Zach and Josh, if you agree. Like the scene where Jamie Foxx kidnaps the girl.
Yeah.
He's like scary for the first half of it.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna like beat her or rape her. Like
Yeah.
like he plays it super scary. And then all of a sudden, it's like they're
just
buddies,
friends.
and he's like they're helping each other. Yeah, there was definitely like a mix of like, can we just commit to? I feel like these are conflicting ideas here with this character.
Well, and like I think they tried to play it off with those shitty fucking flashbacks as to why he was like that, but I didn't buy that at all.
Yeah, those
Those are
flashbacks.
terrible.
It didn't. That didn't get me anywhere at all. Yeah. So Jamie Foxx, not his best role ever, and I think like when we're talking about the entire scope of this movie, that's the most disappointing part. Is you have two legit studs, and this movie just falls incredibly flat. The next thing I want to talk about, and we've kind of already started to dive into it, but the flashbacks is why I want to transition here. Every action thriller trope ever was used in this fucking movie. Okay? Girl's gotta sell drugs because her mom needs surgery. Check. Bad cop on the other side of the tracks, working with the drug dealers to bring down the bad guy. Check. Ex-military trying to bring the government down. Check. Bad boy millionaires buying and selling drugs. Check. The government's poisoning us without telling us. Check. Like, I mean, literally, what fucking one did they miss? Did they jump out of a helicopter or did they go into the vents? No, but maybe in Project Power, the sequel, those were left for that. Because literally every other fucking one was used. And then, like, the motorcycle dirt bike. Got it. How about the fucking, like, I didn't even realize this till I started editing this clip. It's like raining in the diner scene. Of course it is, because when she's getting kidnapped, it has to be raining. And it has to be in a bad
It's raining
neighborhood.
at the climax when they're on the boat.
Yeah,
It's like
raining at the
when they
climax.
go to the boat, it's not raining, and then they come out onto the platform of the boat, and it's pouring.
Okay.
It's like, what?
Boom. There you go again.
Where did that come
Like,
from?
I mean,
And climate change.
yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Like, dude, what stone was left unturned in this fucking movie? And then when we want to talk about the cinematography of the movie, what one was unused? Okay, how about shaky cam? Got it. How about the fucking dramatic zoom in? Got it. When Jamie Foxx shoots that guy, they do the fucking like gun into the camera, shoot the guy shot. They do the cell phone shot when she's rapping, right? Where it cuts to the vertical and they're going nuts in the class. Then we got the fucking security camera footage. Like, you fucking name it, they did it in this goddamn movie. It was so
shots.
annoying. There was no direction. Like, pick something and stick to it. It was terrible. Like, my notes literally, unnecessary POV shot, worn out tropes. Not sure how they got JGL and Jamie Foxx. Overly generic script, no real exposition. Lines are so simple they could apply to anything. Unnecessary security cam, unnecessary shaky cam, unnecessary flashbacks. I hope there isn't a dance sequence in the middle of this.
There was a rap scene in the middle of it.
It was
So
close enough, right?
There's a musical number element to it.
And then the vet. Oh my God, where did the vet come in?
Yeah. I think she either said her mom worked there or like she took classes there or something. Like there was a line where it slipped
and
in,
like
but-
the whole like, these antibiotics say they're from dogs. Well, you a big dog. Come on, fuck me, no. No, you're better than that.
Josh is very angry about this subject.
It's so
For
bad.
those of you who are not
Drink more
watching,
whiskey.
but only listening,
It's
he's very heated right now.
So bad. And like, how did that get past executives? Like, was there not one fucking executive that could pull their fucking cock out of their intern's mouth to look at the fucking script and realize how bad it was?
Whoa, easy there.
Jesus.
I mean, imagine your options were getting your dick sucked or having to be a part of Project Power. My cock's getting sucked by anyone, anytime over watching or having any involvement in this fucking movie.
It was so bad.
Give me the dog pills and stitch my dick up. I'd rather do that than fucking have to watch this again.
It was
Alright.
not the most original.
Yeah.
That's how Justin's gonna bring us back on the rails.
Also, while we're talking about just like tropes or something, from the very beginning of the movie, I was so confused about MGK's character is named Newt. And Jamie Foxx has this just like piece of paper with his name, and it looked like an alligator, but maybe it was a newt. And then we go to his crib, and maybe it was a newt, but it looked like an alligator painted on the wall. And then he has an alligator in his
Living
apartment.
In the apartment.
And then she goes to the grocery store, and the password is like crocodile wine. And I was like, is there a lot of gators in New Orleans? Because I just kind of like associate them with Florida, but
Right.
heavy gator vibes, especially to not actually have the gators involved in
None of their powers, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't pick up on that until you said it right now.
So a newt is a lizard.
Yeah, it's like a
I
salamander.
mean, just
Okay.
chalk it up to one more part of this movie that didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. Okay. They
they didn't explain any, like you said,
No.
very little exposition at
Yeah.
all on that front.
No, and what world were we? What time are we in?
Yeah,
Because-
like it's supposed to be kind of
It's near future.
near future, but there's still like Katrina references.
Katrina references and fucking Zion's the background on her phone.
Yeah,
You-
but he was in his New Orleans jersey, so it would have been recent Zion.
But like you immediately timestamp it when you have Zion as the background on her phone.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and then like the weird thing like where Jamie Foxx steals MGK's phone and he can just get into it.
Yeah, you figure
Here,
with, like,
True.
get into my phone right now.
Maybe he
Go
didn't
ahead,
have-
get
maybe he
into
didn't
my
have a
phone.
password. He's a drug addict. Maybe he didn't have a password on it.
What, are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god, it was bad. Also, MGK is cousins with the girl?
Yes.
Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
There's a trope for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my cousin.
Dude, it's just everything was they took the box of Legos and instead of trying to find the pieces that go together, they just started fucking mashing it all together.
But again, though, I wanna do this justice because you said it was the direction earlier. This is not the direction. This is in the writing.
I'm talking about the writing. I don't know who said
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
Somebody said,
I did.
not being given good notes.
I thought when you were talking about tropes, you said something about the directing. But yeah, so I mean,
yeah.
these are all story points. So again, I think we all agree. That
I mean, the
writing is not
cinematography
great.
too, though.
Yeah, I mean, go into the unnecessary, different, security cam, cell
Right.
phone cam. It's the Paranormal Activity fam. Like what the fuck would we really expect?
Right.
I'm
Oh,
surprised
that's a
that
good
the
point.
whole thing wasn't shot from Jamie Foxx's fucking gun.
You know what though? In the third Paranormal Activity, that fan camera, where it's on the fan and it pans over and then it's panning back and it's panning over. Do you remember that? It
If
was
you can
really good.
accurately recall that is from
Paranormal
distinctly
Activity 3.
Paranormal Activity 3, I am fucking impressed.
Thank you.
Because after the first one, they all blend together except for the scene with all the old white bitches in the room and they're witches.
Yeah.
They're like living in the hood.
That's in the
That's
third
the
one.
only one I remember.
Yeah, that's the third one.
Okay, that one's tight then.
Yeah.
Shout out. Actually,
That's the one these guys directed.
I-
It's the same director
No,
as this.
they did
movie.
4 though. They did 4 though. They did 4 though.
They
Tell
did
me what
3
happened
and
in
4.
4.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
It
That
was
one
an
was
early
tight then?
peak. It was an early peak.
Oh my
I thought it was like Ghost Dimension or something.
I
I
can't
don't know.
keep track of any of them. I think how many were they up to? 5 of Paranormal? I don't know.
Who
But
knows?
these directors did 3. and
Austin, do
4.
you know?
There's lots. The only good one was the first one. That's all I'm saying.
Right, which was originally his senior project at USC, which
Yep.
is fucking awesome. It was very good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, every trope was used, whether it was writing or bad cinematography. It was all just trash. in the writing, though, there's one thing that was super cringy to me, and it was white people writing black dialogue. And Justin ensures me that Dominique and Jamie Foxx had some say in it. But I feel like they did not, because it felt like a white college student wrote the dialogue for all the characters. It was terrible. And it was, like, very flagrantly, like, what's the proper thing I'm looking for? Not predictable, but like, stereotyped. It was very like stereotype dialogue. And it was just really cringy to me. Like the raps, like you guys, somebody said, were like really basic, and like just like the whole like him throwing out words to her, like they like maybe had recently watched 8 Mile and felt like they needed to recreate part of that. Like, I don't know, man. It was really poorly written dialogue for those characters that was super cringy to me and took me out of the film at any given point. And that's not just, I mean, it really stood out to me with Dominique and Jamie Foxx's characters, but also JGL. Like, some of the most like basic cop shit you could say was written for him. And like, me and this 14-year-old girl have had a professional working relationship. Like, what? What is that shit? Like, I don't think he says this, but he might as well have said, I don't follow the rules, but I get shit done, in the fucking diner scene with his boss. Like, it was so bad that it took me out of every fucking scene. Even if like something cool had happened and I'm like, oh, this might get better. Then the second a character opened their mouth, I was like, this is fucking terrible.
I agree. I mean, and so not that I thought, her rapping was cringy, but kind of like you said, I thought the lyricism of it was like, if I'm supposed to believe she's really going to be this up and coming rapper, I feel like it would be a little more, I don't know, whatever. But ultimately, while we're talking about the writing, is it a little weird that the rapping is like lyrically so cringy when MGK was in this fucking movie?
Yeah.
Like,
MGK help him out.
Boy can rap, and I mean, I guess in the movie they're fucking cousins, but like, if your cousin can rap like MGK, and this is what you're bringing to the table, I'd pick up some extra pills to sell, because you're not gonna make it. But
because you're not gonna make it.
You're not gonna make it with MGK as your cousin, and that's what you're bringing to the table. But yeah, you couldn't be like, yo, you're in this movie, dude. It's kind of fucking bad. You don't think you could write some bars for her? And he was just like, nah, man.
No, because he took the money that he got and he went and bought a house with Megan Fox, and he was like, yeah, fucking turned his phone off. He threw it in that bin of all the other phones he had. He's like, I forgot their names. That movie came out. He's like, oh, yeah, I forgot I did that.
I was trying to look at how long it took him to write this movie, which I remember reading an interview, and it wasn't very long, but I can't find the exact number of months. It was a very quick turnaround, but I don't have the exact number.
But it's not like Hey Jude, where the Beatles wrote it in a day, and it's the most iconic song ever. It's a little bit different.
Definitely not on that wavelength, no.
Also, and we could kind of talk about this in this moment. There were literally sentences that were so generic that it almost made it harder to understand what was going on. Right? Like, they literally gave no, like, all right, fine, you don't want to do exposition because you have an hour and a half and you're trying to get as much action. Then let the characters tell you the background, right? Because they took enough time to slow down in beats of this movie to let the characters have their moments, right? But then they gave no context to this world, how this all happened, where we got to, how we got here. Like, it was all just very, like, water on the surface of a table. You just brushed it off and it was gone. Like, nothing left.
I agree. And I think a lot of that is especially clear in Jamie Foxx's character. Like,
yes.
His whole story. It's like, what? This guy the major, like who was in the army, and then he goes like experimented on, and then his daughter became a superhero, and then they took her, and now he's hunting her. He's trying to get her back, and like she's got mystical healing powers, which didn't make any sense to me at all.
Well, he creates the formula for the pill, doesn't he? That's like the whole.
Did he?
thing.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I think that's why when they're talking when Levitt arrests him and they're like on their way back, and he was talking like, your boss gonna call and tell you to go to a different precinct and everything and all this other stuff, and they're like, what do you think? And he was like, well, where do you think they got the formula from? I think that's like the main thing, that he essentially created, I think, this pill, and his daughter was the first person that experimented. Which, like, why experiment on your kid? First of all, the first subject. But
no, I think he had taken a pill, and then somehow his daughter got powers like through
like DNA or something.
Yeah.
No, through fetal alcohol syndrome.
Yeah,
That's
like
how they explained it in the movie.
Feeble. Yeah. What the?
So that means that either Jamie Foxx's girl was pregnant and he had the pill and then banged her, or he had the pill and then, he would have had to.
He would have been.
He banged his girl and then
he took a pill
while he was on the power.
In those 5 minutes, impregnated.
He's like, he took the wrong pill. He's like, is this a blue pill? Yeah, no, here's the pill.
Oh, whoops.
No, I said the blue one.
Do you twist Viagra before you take it? I don't know.
5 minutes. I thought it was 4 hours.
What confuses shit on me too is at one point in the movie somebody says the major is like the source of the power. So I thought he was like the drug dealer, and I was like, well, there was that weird mustachioed motherfucker that was pushing off the back of a boat in the beginning. I had to watch the beginning of this movie like 3 fucking times last night. But so he's the source of the power, and then we don't know, like, I just thought, oh, his name's Major, that's weird. And then I didn't know he was a soldier until I saw the newspaper clipping in the fucking guy's hat. And I was like, oh, so he's a soldier. And then he took the pill once and didn't like the way he acted or some shit, so he never did it again.
Yeah.
And then
I remember that.
Wow, I'm sorry if I go off track here.
No, go.
At the end of the movie, they have a pill left, and he tells like JGL that like, nah, man, like you can't do this. Like I have to be the one that takes it or whatever. But like the way that it was implied was like the pill was too dangerous or whatever. But your power is just your power no matter what, right? Like the pills don't have have your own assigned power, the pill just activates it, right?
Yeah. Okay. I have the actual thing right here. So it says from the backstory provided by Fox's art, the pill dubbed Power was invented by a shady organization named Telios years before it hit the New Orleans streets. And it initially tested the drug on a group of rangers, including Art, who passed whatever genetic damage onto him to his daughter.
Right. Yeah. So that's what we were saying.
So wait, the government didn't even come up with the shit?
No, apparently an organization came up with it and used the rangers that he was in as lab rats, which...
Do you know how fucked up it is that we have to do this much fucking research about this piece of shit movie? Like, I'm having. Don't get me wrong. I'm having fun, but
yeah,
dude. I'm right there with you.
But it's just that poorly explained or not explained at all in the movie, which is why we're all like, what was going on exactly?
Yeah, and I mean that goes back to what we were just talking about, that the dialogue was so generic that it never leaned one way or the other. You were just totally left your own interpretation, which clearly happened when we all sat down and tried to figure out how you got your power to begin with, right? Like we all had a different take on it. All right. Justin.
Telios, though. Like, we had to go through fucking Project Power Canon to get answers to this movie.
Literally. Literally canon. Oh, my God. All right.
Do you need to take a commercial break?
Yeah. Let's take a commercial break, and let's get some more whiskey. You just scream about this movie some more.
Project Power Canon.
All right. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
We're calling it the Idiot Hour. Hey, Denny Hamlin, new NASCAR fan here.
You really gotta but you gotta blow. He wears the skull of his dead mother. And then when he finally copes with the death of his mother,
He becomes his
he
mother.
becomes Marowak.
Correction. Ovi is the greatest offensive talent we've ever seen.
I am E.
You dumbass.
Idiot Hour Monday, we are going to play Turtles in Time and talk about all things Ninja Turtles. And I'm going to see if my good friend Brian Howe will join us, who has the largest Ninja Turtles toy collection I've ever fucking seen. So, yeah.
All right.
Turtle power was a missed opportunity in this movie. A big shell on your back.
My God.
But is it a regular turtle or is it like a snapping turtle?
Who the fuck cares?
Like,
who knows? You turn into Bowser.
Dude, had I written this movie, maybe that's where the fire came from. Is Bowser.
We can't keep making excuses for these people.
Had I written this movie, Jamie Foxx would have made a joke about turtle power. Like, he would have, he'd been like, yeah, man, cowabunga, or something. And it would have been like he would have twisted the thing, threw it in, and went cowabunga, and then, a giant shell came out of his back. That's how that would have, he's, protecting them on the boat. That
would have been cooler than what actually happened.
Yes, it would have.
By far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin, you want to talk about New Orleans as a character, and probably one of
Yes.
the only redeeming parts of this movie is how pretty it is. So,
It's interesting because I really felt like they went out of their way to bring New Orleans into the forefront of this movie in a lot of ways. You shoot movies a lot of times in the cities that it takes place in, and sometimes not, but you don't really go out of your way to show that much and to be like, this is embedded in the city itself, right? Usually it's just a backdrop or the setting. So there's a couple ways that they did that. Some we've already kind of glanced over, but the first one that kind of caught my eye was really a lot of the cinematography, and not necessarily the camera moves like Josh was talking about, but a lot of the colors in this one. It was weird. I feel like they had a scene where every single color was really bright and vibrant and just stuck out in a certain way, and it created a very a moodiness to the movie, right? So a lot of shadows, a lot of contrast, but also these bright colors, these reds and greens and oranges and everything. Did you guys notice that when you were watching it all, or was that just me?
yes.
Because I felt like they were really wow, why is this movie so colorful?
No, and in particular, so this scene's really red and blue, but the yellow in the diner was so apparent to me. And I thought, oh, well, the pill's yellow. And then I kind of thought maybe they would run with that, and that didn't happen. But, yeah, and then, here we got a lot of stuff there, too. But, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, it just creates a tone to the movie, right? So it's kind of like a noirish feel where it's again, the moodiness and the contrast and everything, but adding the color to it is just an interesting dynamic. And I thought I really enjoyed it. I'm a big color guy, so to see it all the differences, I thought it was cool. It was pretty visuals to me, and pretty doesn't always mean good, but it stuck out to me, and I like what they're trying to do here visually. I want to talk about the music and the raps again, just because New Orleans is a city that's known for having a very rich musical culture. A lot of it is jazz or, other, not necessarily rap, right? Other genres of music. But do you guys think that they try to put this much in, to enhance the culture of New Orleans? Do you think that's part of what it was? Because I kind of the only reason I could possibly think that they have so much of it in there is because it's a musical city. And, when they go in the bank, there's this big mural of jazz musicians and stuff. But am I crazy, or do you guys think that could be a reason?
No, it's definitely a possibility given how rich the history of music is in New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say for sure, but
I wouldn't. I agree, but I wouldn't even give them that much credit. I would just think that they were okay, guys, let's pick 3 words. Word association, New Orleans, and they were
they're Lil Wayne, and
yeah,
that's how they got to rap.
Yeah.
The more blatant of it all was Joseph Gordon-Levitt wearing the Saints gear the whole movie, right?
So do you even know who that is? Who the jersey is?
Gleason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Gleason?
He's number 37.
Oh, okay, asshole. Does anybody know? I'm dead serious. Does anybody know who number 37 Gleason is? Because I looked it up. So I just want to know if anybody off the top of their fucking head knows.
Jackie Gleason? Earl
Nope.
Gleason?
Nope.
I don't know.
Austin?
He's the guy that they always like not preach to, but he got I don't know if he injured something or had a disease, but he's always the one in the chair whenever they have the games.
You're correct.
Okay.
Okay, his name is Steve Gleason, and he
Gleason, yeah.
suffers from Lou Gehrig's disease. That's why he's in the chair. But the reason why JGL has his jersey on is because he famously blocked a punt to put the Saints into the playoffs in 2006.
Okay, respect.
That's why
older school.
He's wearing this very new Gleason jersey. Like, that's not even...
Are you saying it confused you for the timing of the movie?
The timing of the movie makes no sense because that is a current Saints jersey with Gleason on the back who has not played since 2008.
You know what this...
Zach just let out the biggest snort. That was awesome.
I mean...
You know what this reminds me of, though? And tell me if you guys agree on this one. The way that they go so far out of their way to show all of this New Orleans stuff, it reminds me of films that are shot in Pittsburgh, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like so many movies that shoot in Pittsburgh, they, like, make their characters wear Pirates jerseys or Pirates hats. Or, like, they show iconic things of Pittsburgh. Like, this felt like the way they shoot movies in Pittsburgh.
I agree with that 100%.
You guys thought so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like the town light, you know.
But why do we think that it stands out when they shoot in Pittsburgh? It stands out in this movie, but in the town, we're like, of course he's wearing this fucking Boston Bruins track jacket. That's exactly what they do in Boston. Like, the joke is that a Pittsburgher because they dress like you would be afraid to mistaken them from somewhere else. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, how does it happen that way? That, like, you know, like, it just, I don't understand why the town or a Boston movie, you're like, of course he's wearing a Red Sox hat. Everybody in Boston wears a Red Sox hat. Like, why did it stand out like such a sore thumb?
That's so interesting. That's a question I don't have the answer for.
I think we've been conditioned to expect it from like Boston films, though.
Yeah.
And then just like, you know, Yenzers, they're like, hey, he's wearing a Steelers jersey. I know that team. And then you're like excited. So.
Well, and then like even down to like the weird knockoff in Dark Knight Rises that's not really black and gold. It's like a weird off yellow and gray that you're like, I'm not sure what we're doing here.
But it felt like in this one, like with those movies that are set in big cities like Boston or New York or whatever, it's like certainly, you know, the backdrop is iconic in terms of locations and yeah, they're going to be wearing the apparel and stuff. But in Pittsburgh movies, it's like they are putting things in there that don't need to be in there, but are just there to showcase the city. Like specifically in Dark Knight Rises, the whole football scene where it's like, here's a panning the sidelines and there's Ben and we have Heinz Ward's like jersey in our face. Like this, they do the same thing with the football. It's like all the Saints fans are like doing the chant.
Well,
and
Zion being on her phone. Like they did not need to cut to her phone and it says like it's Zion like holding up the number 1. Like what the fuck? I don't know. And then my other question is what cop goes to a fucking active robbery scene in a football jersey?
I was wondering like is that even are you allowed to like I mean could you even do that? I mean I guess he clearly is not a guy who gives a crap about anything.
He wears his badge like a necklace so that you know he's a cop at all times.
Yeah.
So I guess he didn't need to wear the uniform. He could just wear his favorite retro that's not actually retro Steve Gleason jersey to the fucking bank robbery. Because maybe the robber will see him and be like, Steve Gleason, respect, and then just be done robbing the bank. I don't know. Maybe that's how he expected it to go down.
Yeah,
So
and none of you
bad.
none of you guys caught any hint of a Cajun accent with JGL either.
No.
Nobody. Austin.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. It wasn't thick. I caught a tiny bit.
I have a cousin who was born and raised in Bunkie, Louisiana. He is a farmer. He is the man. Jared, shut up. But his accent I hear. And like when we talk, I'm like, yeah, that's it. Nothing. nothing from JGL. It
Right.
just sounded like he was being a tough guy.
Yeah. That whole scene where he's in a diner with his boss and he's like, "You remember the last time we trusted guys in suits to take care of New Orleans?" I was like, where's that coming from?
I
Like,
mean,
shout out to hating on the government for
George
the
Bush
Katrina,
hates black
like,
people.
mishandling. Like, we're getting political and like all this stuff now. Like, really taking it to an extra level.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought the same thing, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, you know. I mean, I've never been to New Orleans. Maybe Katrina's still like a big deal there, but for the average viewer, I don't think anybody was watching this movie and was like, "You think between the shitty lines we can get some, you know, political commentary about the state of New Orleans after Katrina?"
Yeah,
due to the
seriously.
government. And then JGL was like, "I got you, bro. Hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer.
Hold my fitted in my newspaper clipping. I got you."
Yeah, well, you know, he could have just put it back into his hat,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And then the only other thing I had for New Orleans as a city is that they really went out of their way to show some of the, definitely more of the seedy side of it, and not necessarily like the underbelly, but like they'll show some of the projects where he went to meet Newt. Like, you know, they make a very good establishing like the part of town they're at in terms of like being more in the street and not necessarily like the nicer parts of New Orleans, right? They went more into sort of the dinginess of it, and you know, like they just showed more of probably some of the realer neighborhoods, and they didn't try to sugarcoat it with like, you know, the nice areas or the nice looking buildings or anything like that.
No,
you know, like,
it was almost like they tried to find as much graffiti as humanly fucking possible in
Yeah.
any of the areas to shoot.
And this is kind of an issue I have with it, especially like the Katrina
This shit,
callback.
this shot right there where she's fucking got the inside the helmet
helmet
shot.
cam.
So unnecessary. I'm sorry, Zach.
No,
Go
you're,
ahead.
you're
I'm
good.
just
But I think they
screaming now.
go out of so if this movie, let's say like the town, like the similar like city tropes, like
Mm-hmm.
we expect a certain amount of shit from a movie that takes place in Boston. We expect a certain amount of shit from a movie that takes place in like New York. You
Yeah.
know? I think in this movie they tried to hit you with, you know, those kind of things you would expect from movies like that. But I don't think anybody really, you know, in cinema has like a preconceived
No.
like notion of this is the way New Orleans would be. And I think it was so poorly executed to the point where it was almost like stereotypical and like offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was done with such, you know, they were just like, fuck it, it's the slum, there's graffiti. It's New Orleans, so of course she raps, right? They're mean at a fucking church's chicken, duh.
Right.
Yeah, Katrina happened, you know, we're fucked up about it still. And I was just like, is it really necessary? Like, I think they went out of their way to make New Orleans like a bigger part of the movie, but did so in a way that if I was from New Orleans, I would be like, I don't know,
mhm.
you know.
I agree because and it is interesting. Like, here's this building with
Yeah,
all this
this
fucking
project
graffiti
scene,
on
right?
it. It just makes no sense.
Yeah,
And he's like fixing the bike, but he like laid a blanket out to fix the bike.
I did like.
Are
this
we in the
camera
ghetto
move.
or what are we doing here?
This
here's-
looks like a scene like before you start a level in a video game.
yes.
Like you're creeping
Yes.
in, and then the camera's gonna shift into like
Yeah.
third person mode.
It was it's so bad.
What's? Oh no, go ahead, Josh. To your point.
So I think Zach's spot on though that if you're watching a Boston movie and they go to Charlestown, you know they're doing shady shit, right? If you're watching a you know, a New York movie and they go to the Bronx, you know that they're going to you know, heavily African American neighborhood, right? Like you kind of have that stuff just from watching other movies ingrained into your head. But like, can anybody name what the tough neighborhood is in New Orleans? I can't.
Well, it's not a big city, I don't think.
It
from
probably
what I
ends in
understand.
ward, right? Something
Right,
ward,
or
or
heights.
parish. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, it's funny because so many movies shoot in New Orleans because they have great tax incentives down there, and so a lot of movies end up shooting there. But this is one of the ones that I can only, or one of the only ones I can think of that's actually portraying New Orleans as New Orleans and not shooting it for another location. So I think that's
Yeah.
really interesting what you said about like people from New Orleans finally seeing their town represented as itself on the screen, and it's not exactly the most you know, polished picture of it.
I mean, that's how I felt though when we watched Dark Knight Rises. I was like, yes, it's in Pittsburgh. And then I saw the football scene and I went, you're like kind of you're in the house but the lights are off and you have no idea where the fuck you're going. Like
yeah.
yes, football, but it should have been like they should have been running through the strip on a Steelers Sunday, not like Hines Ward scoring this weird touchdown on a route he would never run.
Mm-hmm. But that's not showing Pittsburgh as Pittsburgh.
No.
That's shooting Pittsburgh as
Gotham.
Gotham City, right? But this is New Orleans as New Orleans. So I think that's really interesting what Zach had to say about
Wallflower,
not being happy about
they
it.
do a nice job of showing Pittsburgh as Pittsburgh.
They do. And perks of being Wallflower. Yeah.
Definitely. Austin, do you have anything you want to add? No.
No, I've been to New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
so great place, honestly. Went for New Year's on Bourbon Street, and it was insane. But I'd agree, especially with Gordon-Levitt's like, this is my town, and like nobody's gonna get hurt in New Orleans, like they're like that kind of trope, sorta. So
Yeah.
plays
I
to
agree.
that.
All right. Austin, I know you love to do the score, but do we need to do the score for this movie before we do overrated, underrated? Is this something you want to be known?
I
We
don't.
gotta do the scores at some point. That's just tradition.
All right, we'll do the scores now then. Hang on a sec, I gotta get it all pulled up.
You want to do
here.
them before overrated,
I-
underrated?
Yeah, because then
Okay.
over, underrated, we'll go from there. Jesus, movie scores. There they are. All right. And screen share. All right, Austin. I won't make you start because you always get forced to start. So I will start. And we are doing. Is it actually called Project Power? I always mess it up. Okay, Project Power this was the 20th movie we did.
All right.
Great fucking way to start off the 20s. Here we go. All right.
Well, it's like 2020 in that we're just getting the worst out of the way.
Oh, that's
right
a
now.
great fucking point.
That's what we're doing right now.
Okay, this is a 1. Next.
Come on.
It's a 1!
You're saying this is worse. This is a third as
We
good as
just
The Good,
talked
Bad, and the
about
Ugly?
this movie for an hour, and what part of you makes you think that this is better than anything other than a fucking 1?
You think this is a third as good as The Good and Bad and the Ugly, a movie that you hated? It's 1/3 as good as that movie.
Yes.
Get out of here.
I stayed awake through all of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh my! I think you're lying.
And that was like 3 hours. This
Okay.
was an hour and a half, and
Who
I
am
took
I
a
to-
half an hour
Who am I to tell you? All right.
All right. You go next, asshole.
I will say my lowest score is a 4. Wow, with Killing of a Sacred Deer and Good and the Bad and the Ugly. I will say this is a 4. That's about the right
You're
level.
so full of shit.
I took some things
You
from
are
this movie.
so full of shit.
There are some technical elements to this movie that I liked, and I
Okay.
respected what they were going for.
All right.
The writing sucks, and a lot of it stinks, but there were some interesting things.
Zach,
1.
thank you.
You can do 0. You guys can do 0.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen though.
Okay. What's the
Yeah.
worst
What
movie
is,
you've
what's
ever
a 0
seen?
for you? Yeah.
Drill Bit Taylor?
Never saw it.
Drill bit
Oh
Taylor.
man, the worst movie? I'd have to think on it.
Okay. Next time, come back to us.
Okay.
So he's going with a 1. Os,
What's my lowest?
your lowest score is a 4.2 for The Good, the Bad, the Ugly? Yeah.
Let's give Project Power a 3.5.
3.5. All right. Well,
That's Netflix for you, folks.
yeah, I mean, it really is. And actually, great transition, Justin, because let's do overrated, underrated. It's my favorite segment in the show, where we are just going to burn through a number of different Netflix original movies. We're just going to say overrated, underrated, or properly rated. So Project Power,
I honestly,
Was it rated?
I don't know anyone that's talked about
Okay.
it at all.
All right.
So
all right.
I can only hope that they'll think it's not overrated.
Okay. Anybody else have overrated, underrated on this one?
I mean, I gave it a 1, and I think it's overrated. So
Okay, perfect. All right. Hang on. Ooh, Jesus. I just want to adjust Austin. He's off screen there a little bit. All right, next one. 6 Underground.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay and fuck. What's his name? Ryan Reynolds. Did anybody see this movie?
no.
Nope.
I can't say I did.
Okay, skip it.
That's Netflix. This is what
Yeah,
happened.
Right.
I feel like
You're like, this is a $200 million movie with Michael Bay and Ryan Reynolds, and nobody watched it.
Nobody
Like,
watched it. It's sad.
That's
in
how
that, in that
how
regard,
Netflix
but
operates.
Yeah. Okay. How about Austin? I know you've seen this one, The Babysitter.
What the hell is The Babysitter?
Okay, so Austin, have you not seen it?
I feel like I have.
This isn't out yet. This is
Okay.
October 13th.
Oh, I have.
No. This is
Wait.
these are for the posters when they were released. The Babysitter is this really hot chick is babysitting this like young teenage kid, and it turns out that she's in a blood cult. And it's fucking awesome. It's underrated. If you have not seen it, it's spooky time. It's Halloween time.
Oh, Brian Duffield, he's a horror guy. McGee directed it.
Dude, it's really good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
more.
good.
I think it's more funny than it is scary.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You
Wasn't
even
that
have,
movie- wasn't Jonah Hill in a movie called The Babysitter? Where he
Maybe.
played a
Yes,
babysitter?
yes, he like drove the minivan and shit for him.
Oh,
The
man.
movie's fucking
Um,
fantastic.
There you go.
I think King Batch was even in this from the old
Yes!
Boston days.
Yes, he is.
And
You're right.
He was so funny. So I'd say underrated. This movie was-
Underrated. Absolutely, I agree with that. Barry, which is the Barack Obama biopic. Did anybody see this?
I didn't even know this was
Nope.
a thing.
I forgot these movies even existed.
Okay, good. That's kind of what I was hoping for as I was picking them out. It was like some of them you're like, I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
All right. Beast of No Nation. This is Idris Elba. This was one of the first Netflix original films that had a lot of buzz.
It might be the first.
It was not.
War Machine, the
War-
Brad Pitt.
That was after this.
Well, I don't think War Machine was it either.
That was 2012. I think
but
this was
yeah.
like 09 or 2010.
Anyway, did anybody see this movie?
I did see Beast of No Nation.
Mhm.
Kerry Fukunaga, who directed the new James Bond movie, directed this movie, and the guy who did Manic on Netflix and the first season of True Detective. So.
Oh, it was. You were absolutely right. I'm so sorry. Beast of No Nation was the first one. And then Ridiculous Six was the second
your
one.
favorite movie.
Yes.
Beast of No Nation was actually a very good movie. It's about child soldiers in Africa. It's very good. Idris Elba plays like a warlord or like a military leader there.
Anybody else see it?
I thought it was a documentary.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Austin, you did not see it?
I did not. I've
Okay.
heard it.
Underrated only because it was the first and like it kind of like people knew about it, but not a lot of people.
I also saw it, and I would agree, underrated. I think it's especially if you're an Idris Elba dude, he is commanding, and the child who's the lead in the movie is very, very good as well. So underrated. Bird Box, the 2019 meme generator that got us all through the winter. I don't think you can give this underrated, but it certainly is not overrated because it's a fun movie. The ending sucked, but the movie itself is pretty fun.
Yeah, I would say properly rated, even though, like you said, generation of memes came out of this and it was portrayed more as a joke than it was a actual suspenseful film.
Yeah, yeah.
I did not see Bird Box because I thought it looked dumb.
Zach?
I'll say it's overrated.
Overrated.
Nice.
Only because I would say otherwise it was solidly rated because it wasn't terrible, but it came out right on the heels of A Quiet Place, right?
It did.
Yeah.
And then I feel like not that it outshined A Quiet Place, but I think it got almost equal attention, if not more, for like the meme aspect.
Right.
And it's the same fucking movie, just with a different sense.
I think that was what people saw it as, was like A Quiet
Yeah.
Place, but instead of hearing, it's with seeing.
Yeah.
I think
But it's decent. It's not bad, but
there's a couple of things that went really right for this movie to make it what it became. First off, they released it literally at the beginning of a snowstorm somehow. They just timed it so perfectly. Almost like how Tiger King happened right as the quarantine happened, like that. Second, everybody had heard A Quiet Place, but I don't know how many people had actually seen it.
Oh,
but
it was a big hit.
I know it was a big hit, but like I think that it just kind of like it was like here's like A Quiet Place light, and everyone's like awesome. And then there's a big conspiracy theory that Netflix actually released the first meme, and that triggered the internet. The first Bird Box meme. because obviously the memes, like, it got to a point where you had to see the movie because you couldn't ignore the memes anymore.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
Netflix released the actual film that was based on the book of what A Quiet Place was based on, right? And it turned out to be absolute crap.
You just incepted the fuck out of me. I
I
don't
know.
know.
It's literally the same process where the entire world goes completely extinct because there are creatures that are out there attacking everybody, and they rely on being quiet to escape. I gotta look this up. Give me.
Okay.
I don't
Alright.
know what you're talking about.
While you look that up, let's
Yeah.
just move forward. Bright, which was one of the early ones too, with Will Smith, Joel Edgerton. I really like this movie. I think it's underrated. It kind of has some cool sci-fi elements to it. It's a cop movie. I think it's kind of underrated. It reminds me a lot of Underworld, if you're a big Underworld fan or of that genre or feel. I actually think this movie's underrated.
I didn't watch Bright. I read the script and it was a total piece of shit. So I'm like, I'm not watching the movie. But I will say, Will Smith's mustache, underrated. That's what I want to see more of. Big Will and the stash. Because like I look at the right side of this poster where it's Big Will and it's a cop with the stash. I'm like, I want to see it. And then I look to the blue guy and I'm like, I don't want to see it. Like that's where it loses me. Not that I have anything against fantasy or anything, but it just looks. I don't like the look of it.
Did anybody else see it?
I saw it, and it
didn't
was
see it.
interesting to appreciate the fact that they brought fantasy into like a real world perspective.
Yeah,
But I didn't think it was the best film,
sure.
so to speak.
They're making
that,
a sequel, so enough people watched
Yeah.
it.
that movie is called The Silence, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right.
Stanley
said-
Tucci, right?
the first thing that came out was Netflix thinks we won't notice if it just remakes A Quiet Place with different actors and a new title.
It's called Silence.
The Silence, yeah.
The Silence, not Silence of the Lambs.
No.
2016.
No, that's gonna be Martin Scorsese's movie
Oh.
about the Japanese priests.
Jesus, man. How many times can we use silence in a
Right,
Oh,
right.
here it is. Wow.
Is that Hermione?
Stanley Tucci.
Oh.
good
No, it's
call. Ryan Lotto.
yeah, that's Sabrina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Oh no, the slideshow reset somehow. All right, hang on a second. Let's get back to where we were. All right. Austin, I know you hate this movie and so do I. Death Note's Netflix.
That was such a piece of shit. I hated it so much.
So bad. It's very bad for an amazing anime series that could have very easily made the transition to live action, and they just butchered it. Because they did all the right things. Good cast. It looks really good, but they just watered it way too far down.
Nope. I even think the only thing that saved that movie was Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Everything else was garbage. They made Light the wrong character. They flipped so many story elements. It was Americanized, which is what they
Yes.
were going for, but the whole Americanizing of it
Yeah.
made it shit.
Right. I can agree with that. Yeah, because there's no honor and never mind. Zach, did you see this?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay. All right. Who saw El Camino, the Breaking Bad film?
Mhm.
I did.
I did.
And
I'll let you take this one first, but
I mean, you know how much I love Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
A-list actor Aaron Paul.
Top of the A-list.
Yeah, I don't
Yep.
know. It was all right. It was, I don't know, whatever.
It's
I could
weird,
have done without it. I'm glad I saw it.
yeah, it's happy that it was put there, but without Walter White in it, it was a weird, like, almost kind of polarizing film from a different part of Breaking Bad. And you do that sometimes when you have, like, you want to tell a story from, like, I don't know, like one specific character or an element or something properly, I would say.
I had restarted Breaking Bad in anticipation of watching this because I knew it was coming out. And then Anastasia watched it before me and spoiled the ending, so then I just quit watching Breaking Bad. Extraction, Chris Hemsworth.
Whew, it's a good one.
I did not see it. It's supposedly not terrible.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was very highly rated on a couple of websites that say best Netflix originals, but
Yeah, I would say properly rated. It was that kind of action film that we needed, and it told like from good storytelling, good action sequences that made you feel like you were right there. You could put it on par with the action scenes almost of like the Bourne trilogy and everything like that with all the choreography they did. So
Okay.
properly rated, I'd say.
cool. Zach, did you see it?
Yeah, did not see this one either.
Okay.
You might be noticing a pattern.
Extremely wicked, shockingly evil and vile. This is Zac Efron portraying Ted Bundy. I've not seen this yet. It just came out. It is on my immediate watch list, probably this weekend, actually. Has anyone seen it yet?
Yeah, I think it came out like last year.
Did it give
Yeah,
it
it's
last
been out for a
year?
while.
Yeah.
And I'm just that under
If
a
not
rock.
earlier this year,
Yeah.
then last year. Sure.
All right, cool.
Lily Collins too.
I mean, I don't know. I think it was hyped up because Zac Efron was in it, and then I watched it, and I think it's overrated.
Okay, overrated, huh?
Yeah, I would say just because you're putting the character of one of the most notorious serial killers in Ted Bundy
Right.
with one of the most like I don't want to say like look actors to look to play in this role.
Okay.
So that was a big draw, especially since you got the kid from High School Musical playing a serial killer.
Right.
Like that's gonna draw anybody. So
No, it was meant to be shocking and
yeah, but
Vile and evil.
Yeah, I don't remember. I honestly, I know I watched it. I don't remember a single fucking thing about it. But now that I'm looking at this poster, it looks like Haley Joel Osment was in it.
I thought that was Ricky Gervais. Is that is that Haley Joel Osment?
Yeah, I think it is,
Nice.
and
um,
that's a
Jim Parsons is there. I see.
that's
Is
a
that
loss
John
for me.
Malkovich?
I
it
think
is John
is.
Malkovich.
Nice.
yeah, I would say overrated until the ending scene. Then
Okay.
it becomes really rated.
Did anyone see Game Over Man?
I saw this one.
Yes. Okay.
This is why I don't watch Netflix originals anymore.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was okay.
Every time I scroll past it, I'm like, this is why I don't watch Netflix.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
From the creators of Workaholics, though, how bad could it be?
I was gonna say, yeah, these.
I think Seth Rogen and Point Grey were EPs on this one, but I mean, I've never been an Adam Devine guy though, so that's part of it
Same.
for sure.
Gerald's Game.
My grandmother saw this and she loved it.
Well,
So-
there you go.
This is a
and
good.
Carla
film.
Gugino is my girl for life.
You
Definitely
have
one
like
of my-
17 girls for life.
Yeah, but she's one of them for sure.
Okay, all
Amanda
right.
Daniels from Entourage. Don't even get me started. This is actually supposed to be pretty good. Austin, you had to have seen this, right?
Yeah, no, I saw it probably as soon as it came out onto Netflix because I love Stephen King. I've read the book and properly done. This was a great film.
Yeah,
Cool.
very well reviewed.
Yes.
Husband and wife go to the cabin for the weekend, start fooling around. Husband dies while the girl is still trapped to the bed. That's all I know about it.
Oh, wild.
Tale
But,
as old as time.
It's a classic.
Zach, if I had $1 for
These-
every time
These tropes.
these tropes. Ibiza with Jillian Jacobs.
Born in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Although she doesn't like Pittsburgh, she told me.
I don't know who any of these fucking people
Wait,
are.
you met Jillian Jacobs and she said that she didn't like Pittsburgh?
She was glad to get out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, we did a movie with her at Amblin coming
Oh.
out in October actually. But yeah, she was glad to leave.
But I love Jillian.
Love is a good show. I like Love. I don't know what the hell this is.
Um,
Is this like
This-
Clueless for the new generation?
no, this is she gets fired from her job, goes to a trip in Ibiza. It's based off of the Mike Poser song.
It's a hill in Ibiza.
Yeah. And it's okay. I mean, it's kind of cool visually, kind of like what's the movie with James Franco where he's basically playing Riff Raff?
Spring Breakers.
Spring Breakers.
Yeah.
It visually rivals Spring Breakers with all the neon and the crazy and the fun, but like as far as the storytelling movie, it's not that great.
Okay.
So
You picked such an interesting list of Netflix originals.
well, it's a long list,
Yeah.
so you know. My favorite from the list, Marriage Story. This is probably properly rated, but I'll say it's underrated because I loved this fucking movie.
Agree, 100%. I wish it had. I mean, it did fairly well at the Oscars, but I mean, I think it should have done better. Noah Baumbach was not nominated for Best Director. I think that's kind of a shame. 'Cause this is a pure performance movie, and this is a pure director movie. It's beautiful, great all around. Love it. Agree with you, Josh.
Did you guys see it?
I
Yeah.
did not see it.
Austin, you did?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. This was, I don't want to say picture perfect, but it was really good.
I cried the whole way through it. And my girl ScarJo's in it, so.
I do want to say that a lot of Netflix originals I purposely avoid, but this is one that I just have not seen yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mowgli, which came out at the same exact time that the live-action Jungle Book movie did, and was the grittier, true to the book version of the Jungle Book. Star-studded cast with Cate Blanchett, Christian Bale, Benedict Cumberbatch. I can't see all of these across the top here, but star-studded cast, was praised as being much better than the live-action Jungle Book, but the live-action Jungle Book sucks, so what are you really praising it off of? I hated this movie.
Yeah, same. Thank you.
It was not great. But it's funny because that and the Jungle Book were going at the same time.
Yeah.
And they both had rivalry amazing cast to them.
Yep.
But this was supposed to be more faithful to the actual Kipling
Right.
Jungle Book, which is sort of a darker and a
Yeah.
little bit, heavier material, not necessarily like Disney-ified. And the visuals are pretty great. The director was Andy Serkis, who played Gollum in King
Right.
Kong and has done
Right.
a lot of motion capture work.
Yep.
So he was very, getting Christian Bale and Cate Blanchett's motion capture and was. The visuals are not bad, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of this one too much.
Yeah. Zach?
I didn't see it.
There you go. Murder Mystery. My wife famously quoted as saying, "If you wanted to torture me, force me to finish this movie." So that's how she felt about it. I didn't think it was that bad.
Also getting a sequel, this movie.
There you
A
go.
lot of people watched it. I
Really?
did not, because I hate Jennifer Aniston, and it looked shitty. But I didn't see it.
Am I the only one that watched it?
No, I saw it.
Okay, what'd you think?
It was all right. It wasn't. It was probably one of the better Adam Sandler Netflix originals I had seen.
Sure.
And then it's probably the only reason I liked it because I was like, wow, this didn't suck. You know, and that's kind of my bar for Netflix originals.
Was it 50
Did not suck.
Was it 50 First Dates? No. Was it kind of in that world? Yes. Okja.
I did not see Okja, even as much as I love Parasite and Snowpiercer.
So, has anyone seen Okja but me?
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not. I've
okay.
heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
So I am famously not a great reader, and this movie relies heavily on subtitles, and I loved it. That's how good this movie is. I watched it on the plane when I came to visit you in LA the one time, Justin, and it is awesome. Definitely worth a watch. Probably underrated if I had to pick. Roma, the Oscar darling Best Picture winner.
Oh, Best Picture loser to Green Book.
Oh,
Big
thank you.
controversy.
Okay, so
But Oscar darling for sure.
did anybody see Roma but me?
No.
I did see
I
Roma.
definitely think I've seen this, but I can't remember.
Okay.
I saw Roma, and I think Roma's overrated.
I would agree with that. I thought that it was definitely in the Oscar conversation, though. I thought it belonged there because it felt like old school filmmaking, which was really refreshing in a time where we're so focused on special effects and flashy and, cut. It was long, drawn-out takes of solid, like a stationary camera that was positioned, framed correctly. I mean, it was, I think, a really beautiful film.
Yeah, Roma's such a niche movie though. Like it's 2.5 hours. It's black and white. It's a period movie set in like the 70s Mexico. It's all subtitled, and it's about a housewife,
Right.
Or not a housewife, like a maid,
Yeah.
right, in Mexico 40 years ago. I mean, so I think it's underrated because it got so much Oscar love, and I genuinely don't think that many people actually sat through it. I think they just voted for it because of some of the issues at the time.
Sure.
It's a good film for sure, but I was not in agreement with the level that it was received.
Okay. This movie was the one I referenced earlier about putting a big musician in it. This is Spencer Confidential. This trailer famously shows the first 5 minutes with one Post Malone in the jail, and he gets in a fight with Mark Wahlberg. And I'd like to remind everybody that Mark Wahlberg is not Matt Damon, which is always very difficult for me. But I was pissed because Post Malone's only in the first 5 minutes of this movie. And he's on the poster.
Yeah, Poster Malone.
I would call it false advertising to its finest. It's so upsetting.
That's how they suck in all his fans, and then it's like, oh,
They
no,
got me.
We already showed you.
And
Yeah.
you know what the worst part is, Justin?
Isla Schlesinger?
I hit play, and I was like, oh, man, Post Malone. And, his scene, he's great. He's awesome. He's Post Malone in the scene, but it's fine, right? And you're like, this was great. And then, 15 minutes goes by, and I'm like, all right, maybe they're going to go back to Post Malone now. No, okay, all right. Half hour goes by. Oh, he's going to come any minute. An hour and a half, 2 hours. At 2 hours, I fast forward to the end of the movie. I track through it on Netflix, and I'm like, he's not in the rest of this movie.
He ain't coming back.
That's fucking ridiculous.
This is such a bizarre cast. You got Mark Wahlberg, Winston Duke, a.k.a. the Dick from Black Panther, from, the Bad Tribe.
Yep.
They became friends at the end. Isla Schlesinger is in it for some reason, the comedian. Mark Maron, and then Post Malone. That is such a bizarre cast. And honestly, Zach, I'm telling you, this was one of those cash grabs. Mark
This movie
Wahlberg.
fucking sucked.
Mark Wahlberg is definitely a guy who's in it for the money most of the time, and this was yeah. Oh, you saw this one?
Yeah, this movie
okay.
was. I mean, not the whole thing. But,
How
So
much
you
does
also
it
watched the
suck?
first
How much
5
did
minutes?
you watch?
Yeah.
More or less than Josh?
Probably 30 minutes.
Oof.
Okay, then less than me.
But I was done after the first 10. But
Is it a
I was
comedy?
forced.
Like a buddy cop movie? Or it's supposed to be?
I think it's supposed to be.
It's
Okay.
it's weird how most of his films as of late have one celebrity that's playing in the film.
Mark
You have
Wahlberg?
with
Okay.
Mark Wahlberg's films. You have this one with Post Malone. You had the Undercover Force one with Ronda Rousey, and then you
shit,
had
you're right.
the one with we had Ted 2 with Tom Brady.
You're fucking right.
Yeah, Ted 2 he was in. Yeah.
You're so right.
With just Post Malone being this, it made me think of MGK again, and I was thinking about this. Do you think that to a certain extent, if you sign some kind of contract with Netflix, they have either a little more pull, just because I'm sure Mark Maron and Isla Schlesinger probably both had specials on Netflix within a year.
You're
of this coming
absolutely
out.
right.
And now they're in this movie.
Um,
MGK was just in fucking, the dirt, and now he's in this movie.
Yeah.
Once they have you, do you think it's they're just hey, if you do one movie, we'll put you in 4 other fucking things, whatever. You'll just have checks coming.
Yeah.
Just
it's not. There's not
don't
necessarily.
read the fucking script. Just show up.
Yeah, there aren't contracts, but it certainly helps to have that relationship. If you just come off of a Netflix movie and then they're like, oh, hey, we also have this thing we want you to do, and we'll pay you a bunch of money. It's great, let's do it. It's just kind of, that's why a lot of times you'll see a director and an actor do a movie together, and then they do another one back to back,
Right.
De Niro and David O. Russell or something. It's because that relationship is there, it just sometimes can roll into another thing.
Yeah.
So you're definitely right in that, the specials would have tied into the movies because the relationships they have. But it's rare that a person will be contracted like Adam Sandler does a 4-picture deal or something.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which is famously the Coen brothers.
Right.
Anybody see it?
I wanted to see it in
did.
theaters when it went to Netflix. I'm just I don't want to support Netflix, but I do love the Coen brothers. I did not see it.
Anybody else?
No, I never saw this one.
No?
I saw it. I'll say it's overrated.
Okay. Not the best Coen brothers flick?
No. I
Bummer.
mean, that's the only reason I checked it out too. And
Right.
I was just
The
no.
Coen brothers.
Yeah.
This
Sure.
is the one where it's 6 different stories.
Yeah.
And James Franco's in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Do-Over with Adam Sandler and David Spade.
Not the worst.
It
Sandler
really isn't the
original
best.
movie.
We
it's
talked
not-
about
it's
a
not
lot
good.
worse movies.
It's not
It's
good.
not good,
But it's not his worst Netflix.
when I watched it, I wasn't mad that I watched it. I was like, okay, that was kind of, and Adam Sandler's supposed to be this super hot dude that women can't resist.
Yeah,
but
tough
it's-
guy cop or whatever.
But it's actually, he's like, oh, that's my ex-wife, but it's actually his current wife. It was fun. It was fun. It was cute.
I just like both those actors.
Yeah, that
so,
too.
you know.
They are so good together. So, did anybody else see the Do-Over?
I think I did. I think I did.
It's hard to know which Krabby Sandler movie at times you're watching.
Right.
I'm gonna say, is it wrong that I looked at this and saw Adam Sandler and read the little thing and I was like, nope, not even touching that.
I do that a lot with Netflix movies. I'm like, Ridiculous 6? Nope. The new one he's got, Hubie Halloween? Probably.
Oh,
not.
my
Dying
God.
was
You
their
like that
first
trailer?
mistake.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like that trailer at all.
So star-studded though. It's just unbelievable. It's like 2 minutes of just all A-list actors. I can't believe it. But yeah, it looks not great.
The Fundamentals of Caring with the greatest actor of a generation, Paul Rudd, Craig Roberts, and Selena Gomez. Has anybody seen this?
I've never even heard of
Yeah,
this.
no.
No? Okay.
No.
The Irishman.
Overrated.
Zach. Come on. I know you watched it.
I mean, yeah, I've watched it like 8 times.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a full day. That's 24 hours. That's an
I-
entire day.
I saw it in theaters like 2 weeks before it came out on Netflix.
That's amazing. I love that you love it that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a sucker.
You like it more than
Whatever.
Goodfellas?
No.
Okay.
No, but I like long ass. I just like long ass kind of dry movies, and this was kind of that. You know,
That's a mob
I mean,
movie.
it had its moments like when he's kicking that guy on the ground. You know, it looks fucking stupid because he's 80 years old, and then you see the pictures where he was wearing those like elevated boots and shit, like behind the scenes. He's wearing the the Kiss boots and shit. But
platforms.
yeah, but I'm gonna actually say underrated.
Okay. I think a lot of people feel that way, that this is a really good Scorsese movie and belongs in his top tier of movies. I've seen that a number of times written about this movie. So, Austin, did you see The Irishman?
Yeah, properly rated, I think. It was, yeah.
All right. I can't even say
Meyerowitz
this.
stories.
Thank you.
This is underrated. Adam Sandler, when he does dramatic work, he is underrated himself. And this is an ensemble movie with, you could see Dustin Hoffman and Ben Stiller. This was Noah Baumbach, the guy who directed Marriage Story.
Yep.
And a bunch of others, obviously, indie movies. This is underrated for sure. Great performances, very like heartfelt family movie. Underrated.
Just looking at this poster makes me cry. I have not seen it yet, but it is in my queue and has been for a while. So,
Likewise.
yeah.
Yeah, it's solid.
The Old Guard, Charlize Theron, Justin's other girl.
No, I'm not a Charlize guy.
No, okay.
But I do love her recent string of ass kicking.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Atomic Blonde was awesome, and The Old Guard, underrated. This was actually pretty. I don't want to make it sound like I love this movie. This was pretty decent for being a Netflix movie. This was an action movie about a team of 4 immortals who are being hunted by the government, and they're just trying to stay alive while killing a whole bunch of people. It's pretty solid. Like, it's a little emotionally heavy, but it's pretty decent actually.
Better than Project Power, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Anybody else see it?
I did not.
This is also new. This just came out in like July or August.
As well.
Yeah. It's a good action movie. Yeah. It might be Netflix's best original action movie. I
Okay.
think that's fair to say.
The Package.
I know this is about a penis, but
Yes.
that's all I know.
So a guy gets his penis cut off, and his friends have to get him to a hospital with the penis, and hilarity ensues.
Are these kids like 13? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's like young adult comedy. Like, imagine like Superbad, but with a penis.
Like with an actual.
Yeah. Did anybody else see this? Just me?
No, I have not seen this one.
This is really good.
Nobody wants to admit
This is
they've seen it.
underrated.
Zach's
You
like,
should
how
watch
do I
it."
say I've seen it, but I don't want
No,
to.
I have not seen it. But when you're like, it's like 13-year-olds with a penis, I'm like,
Right.
I'll sit that one out.
Yeah,
I'll guess that one.
It's super bad. I mean, it's super bad. The same woman who said, "If you wanted to torture me, make me finish murder mystery." She loved this, so it was really good.
Is it like so bad that it's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean I think it's like super bad. I mean, it's not as good as super bad, but it's in that genre. So, Ridiculous 6. I just want to
Whopping
see
0% still on Rotten Tomatoes.
I just want to see who admits to have watched it. Just put your hand up if you've watched it.
I have
You
not.
fucking liars. All right. And then The Ritual. Austin.
Yes, underrated.
I agree.
I love this
I
film.
don't know what this is.
It was kind of a mysterious ending. Wasn't totally tied up at the end. But was very good. I
Yeah,
really liked it.
premise for most people is that this group of friends goes to a mountain trip that they've been wanting to do, but their one friend unfortunately gets killed, so they go in remembrance of him. And throughout the way, they get shit put into their heads, basically from this wooded area, and turns out there's a mythical creature. It's pretty fucking good, honestly.
Yeah. They do a really nice job of not showing you the creature too fast. So
Take a lesson. It took a lesson from Jaws, man.
Yep.
This is good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I did see this.
Oh, the Two Popes or the Ritual?
The Ritual.
And what'd you think?
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good.
The Two Popes. Anybody see this?
The Two Popes was very excellent.
Okay.
It's very underrated. It's Anthony Hopkins and Jonathan Pryce playing Pope Benedict and Pope Francis, our current Pope and last Pope, and it's like about the power dynamic as one took over for the other, but they both were still living in the Vatican, which is rare. Usually a Pope will die, and then there's you don't have a Pope retire and then have to live with his successor. So it's a very talky movie. It's very dialogue heavy, just about conversations they have about ethics and beliefs and things like that. Two great performances. If you're a dialogue person, it might not be the most factually accurate because these conversations were never really recorded and they've only sat down a couple times together, so it's a little bit more fictionalized. But for a performance movie, it's really excellent.
The Wrong Missy.
I did not see this one.
I did.
David Smith.
I saw this one.
The way you see it,
I
you're
take
like,
this sword.
I did.
No, I say it. I say it with a smile and pride in my heart. I had to look up her name, but Lauren Lapkus.
Mm-hmm.
I love her.
She
I
is.
think she's hilarious.
She's a guard in Orange Is the New Black.
Yes.
And is a fairly successful stand-up comedian. She's very funny if you've never seen one of her specials. So overrated, underrated? How do we feel?
I mean, most people said it was a piece of shit, but I think it's underrated.
What is the premise of this movie?
It's the wrong Missy.
Tell you. Yeah. He's talking to this girl or whatever. He's kind of got a thing for her. Things, don't pan out or whatever. He goes on a couple blind dates. He gets invited to some kind of wedding or retreat or some shit, and he thinks he's texting the girl he's really been into, and he accidentally texts the wrong Missy, this chick he went on like a blind date with and bailed.
Okay.
Have any of you seen The Characters? It was like a show on Netflix where each episode was a particular comedian doing like different sketches of like various characters. She does the first episode of it, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
That sounds like a cool show, though.
That's
Did you
good.
see this?
I did this one like the Adam Sandler one where I saw David Spade in the title and was immediately like, I'm not doing this. I'm not putting my body through this.
Did anybody see Jared Leto's The Outsider?
No, I read that one too, and it was not good.
Okay. To All of the Boys I've Loved Before.
No.
This one's supposed to be quite good.
They did a sequel.
I wasn't sure. Yeah.
This is the one where the girl writes all the
Mhm.
notes, right?
Yeah.
I've seen the trailer, but I've never actually watched the film. It looked good from
This
what
was
I
a
saw.
critical darling, this film.
Yeah.
It was very well received, but I didn't.
The Triple Frontier.
Triple Frontier is underrated as hell. J.C.
Okay.
Chandor is a fantastic director. He's done mostly indies. He did a movie called All Is Lost where Robert Redford is on a ship at sea by himself as like he's lost at sea. He did A Most Violent Year with Oscar Isaac, Jessica Chastain. I forget what his other big one that he did was. But yeah, this was an action movie with a great cast, and it's not what you think it's going to be based on the trailer. The trailer makes it look like a generic heist movie, but it's actually, that's like the first half of it, and then the second half becomes a survival story, and it's a great character movie. A lot of these actors are very talented actors, and the dynamics between them all is great. So great action, great character work, great directing. Triple Frontier is underrated.
Okay. Anybody else see it?
I've heard of it, but I have not seen it.
Zach?
I started it once and got 5 minutes and just like, not that it was bad, I just wasn't like in the mood for that. But sometimes I think when you go on Netflix and you see these movies are like, just out, you like feel like a kind of pressure, like, oh shit, it just came out, I gotta watch it. And then like sometimes you're just like, I'm not feeling it at that moment, and then I think sometimes they get buried. And I think that was kind of what happened with this, where I started to watch it and then was like, I can't do this right now. And then, I mean, There's just so much fucking original content on Netflix. It's hard to keep up sometimes.
It's their problem, man. Like they just have so much stuff. Buried is exactly the right word. Everything just gets buried there, so it's so easy to get lost.
And not to go too far off track here, but playing off that, I think I have an issue too determining what is a show and what is a movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
it should say in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure like if I'm on it, it says like an hour 30 minutes as opposed to like season 1. But sometimes you just see these titles and you're like, it sounds like a show. I don't know. I don't have like 8 hours right now to binge a show, or it sounds like a movie. Like I'll check it out later, and then you're like, oh fuck, it's 10 hours. So I think that is like a big issue for me too. Is there's so much, and I don't know if it's a fucking show. I don't know if it's a movie, and whatever.
Yeah, I agree. Velvet Buzzsaw.
I was real hyped on Velvet Buzzsaw when it first
So
came
was
out
I.
because it's the director of Nightcrawler.
You
and
got
Jake
me wound up
Gyllenhaal,
on it.
And I didn't end up watching it.
Oh,
I heard it was like whack.
You did a great job not watching it.
You guys all saw it?
Yeah.
Hella weird.
Hella weird. And like cool weird for the first hour. You're like,
Yeah.
this
And then
is fucking cool. And then
And
it just go ahead, Austin.
It gets very unmanageable. Like I can't even.
Yeah.
The whole thing just spirals, and
Mm-hmm.
I go, "What the hell is this anymore?" Like I'm not sure if I watched this drunk or not, but it was not good.
Yeah, it was it gets hard to handle is a very good way to describe it. Yeah.
One of my favorite
not worth
titles
watching.
of all time, though.
Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yeah, that's an awesome title.
That's an awesome
I
title.
wanted to watch it just for the title before anything. But
Okay.
Zach, and you didn't like it either?
No. Overrated.
Yeah. The week of.
This is one I usually never stop a movie once I start it, and this one I made it like 7 minutes in.
You're an idiot for
And
it.
I'm like, this is the worst. It's Adam Sandler doing a bizarre, weird Adam Sandler accent for no reason, and it was just like I made it 8 minutes. I'm like, I'm not doing this shit.
This movie, if you are a sucker for a feel-good, warm, fuzzy movie, this is the fucking one. Chris Rock is estranged from his daughter, but he's a big fancy surgeon, and Adam Sandler is the Jewish father to the bride who needs help paying for the wedding and wants to make sure that Chris Rock's there for his son's big day. It's awesome. I love this movie. Fuck you, Justin. And then that was it. That was the last one, was week of.
End on a good note.
End on the week of, eh? So yeah, that was thoughts from the movies this week. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on. As always, we appreciate it. Thank everyone for watching. Nico, thanks for being so active in the comments. We'll be back next week. Justin and I will be back to tackle some other topic that we haven't thought of yet. Make sure you're checking out all of the Thoughts from the Bench shows. Mondays, Idiot Hour at 8. We have By the Movies, obviously, you're here watching Wednesdays at 8. We have Two Beers Deep, our flagship show, Thursdays at 6. We've also started a new fantasy football show called Boondock Bangarang. That is Sundays from 10 to 12 with all of your fantasy football advice, some betting advice, all that kind of good stuff. Justin, you should probably check that out. And then By the Slice, very controversial By the Slice this week, as our By the Slice pizza expert calls out the head of Barstool. So you might want to go check that one out. That guy's off the rails. His power would have been fire, I think, is the one he would have unlocked. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and have a good night.